They think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wants to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighters beat me.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. Oh man, it's a great evening, man. If you hear the sound of my voice, man, we've been given an opportunity to have a great boxing conversation as usual. And I think, we're going to have some fun. Much like the thumbnail, we're going to have some fun, and we're going to, get into this whole OshaquieFoster versus Ray Savage, ting that's going on, So I got some things that I'm gonna go over, man. Oshaki been making waves. Ray Ford been doing his thing. I've been seeing him doing his little camps and working out. He definitely putting in some work. So I'll give him that. And both of these guys are in my boxes to watch. So, the fans are gonna win with this one. I think that the coverage on this one is kind of overblown. I mean, it's not getting the attention that it really deserves. It's all masked and some other things. But we're going to get into it. We're going to address it amongst some other things. And I'm going to keep it my eyes and ears to the YouTube streets, see what everybody got going on. And a lot of people want to stay on the beaten path. There's a lot of people that's still clickbaiting. There's a lot of people that's out here that's still creating those narratives. We're going to get into a couple of those. Housekeeping should be, great. And I know I took a little bit of time away, but we back in full effect. We just hit a goal. And I always say that we practice quality, not quantity. So a small channel like ours to hit 250,000 views, especially when we're not on every day. We're not knee-jerk reactionists. We're not like 7-Eleven or McDonald's, always compared to that novelty bookstore where you can always go in there and, you might be able to get some incense. You might be able to go in there and find a book called The Richest Man in Babylon, The Destruction of Black Civilization. They do be having, like, it's a niche mark. We're a niche inside of a niche. And I be joking around, but I be serious as well when I say, man, I'm not trying to be the Drake of this. We're not trying to be the most popular. There are some things we can do. We can follow suit like everybody else and be sensational and drama driven and all that. We start inside the ring and work our way out as necessary. We focus on the fights, and this channel, in retrospect, this channel does do a lot of campaigning for guys who don't get the attention they deserve. Before everybody was all on Noya anyway, we were doing a lot of content on him. Of course, since Tank is the most hated fighter in boxing, him and Earl, for some strange reason, and Mel, 3 of my top 3 fighters, I done a lot of things on them. But like when my guys are inactive, that don't stop it. I'm not just gonna put their thumbnail in and piggyback off what somebody else said or do whatever. Yeah, I'm still, reading the tea leaves. I'm still staying abreast or whatever, but we're not one of those kind of channels. We reached 250,000 views, and I'm humbled about it because, trying to get somebody to view something, especially a truth-driven, a fact-based, not opinion channel. That's why I always say, fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. We're trotting along. I'm not gonna say we're like the little engine that could, because we could put some horsepower in this thing. It's just we're gonna stick to the truth. We're gonna highlight some of the underdogs. Like for a while, I was doing a lot of pieces on Subriel Matias. You might find me doing pieces on, like I was doing more pieces on this fan base of Frank Martin at the time. I'd be doing pieces on Tito. The up and coming guys like Diego Pacheco, who stepped, Brian Norman. So we do kind of cheer for the underdogs. We do kind of highlight the individuals in boxing that are moving the way the sport of boxing needs them to move for the vitality of the sport. See, a lot of people don't care because they like, look, man, we're going to take this shit and we're going to flip it around and we're going to get money out of it. We're going to be sensational. We're going to talk about Clarissa until we out of breath. I mean, it's like, damn, man, I never seen so many men so caught up in so much gossip. And yeah, it's under the guise of sport, but it's like, man, this stuff is not going to help the sport. So this is what we do. We put stakes in the ground for individuals who moving proper like, and I want to, inspire the youth or fight and conduct themselves in ways that the people that's coming behind them, if they were to follow, we'll be in good hands, like the Abdullah Masons of the world, the Derek Scooter Davises of the world, Dave Whitmire, the Body Snatcher. That's a guy that's on my radar. Tito Mercado, I'm waiting for some news from him. So, this is that kind of channel, man. We're going to stay off the beaten path. We're not going to do what everybody else do. We don't copy and paste. We cite our sources. If I go somewhere and I hear somebody cooking, I'm going to say, yeah, I was over here. I heard them cooking. I'm not going to come up here and act like I came up with the stuff by myself. But that's just a little introduction, to some of the things pre-housekeeping, some of the things that's been on my mind about the sport and what I need people that watch the channel to know. So, like the channel, comment, we do have links available upon request. We don't really smack trolls in the head. We're just gonna put you in the corner and smack you in your head with the truth until you gracefully bow out. But you can get yours off over here. I promise you. I had YouTube take my mute button off. The only way I will mute somebody is if you do something to get the channel banned. I had to do that before. you know, because somebody just wouldn't stop saying certain things, you know, and it's like, hey, you can, I don't mind a little bit of, you know, choice language and all that. You can get on here and spit it, but it's always open, you know, for discussion. So we welcome debates, we welcome honest dialogue. We always say, go listen to, you know, your favorite content creator on some cheers type. Go where everybody know your name and they always glad you came and they always sing your praise. Go listen to what they say and then come over here and hear what we got to say and how we break it down. You know, so we're not anti any channel, even though we do lick off shots from time to time, but that's not the basis of this channel. But with no further ado, I got my main apple Scrapple. AC is in the building. What's going on with you, AC? How your evening going, man?
Man, my evening is going good, man. I was just getting some ingredients together because the fam is away for the next 16 days or whatever down in Texas. So I just felt that since I ain't got to cook a big meal, then have some fun and cook a bunch of really good smaller meals. So I just went and I said, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to make me some real deal Indian curry.
Oh, okay.
You feel what I'm saying? So I just went and got all the ingredients and stuff like that for that together. And I'm going fuck it up and I'm going to make me some Indian curry. Indian chicken curry, and I'm gonna put that shit over some grits.
Over some what?
Grits.
Oh wow.
Yeah, bro. Yo, people don't know that shit is just so crazy tasting curry and grits. Like when I used to go to the curry restaurants, like this one spot had served a breakfast. So every day, like that I was available to go there, I would go and be like, let me get the curry chicken or curry goat, and let me get a large grits or a medium grits. And the lady would look at me like, I don't get it. Why you mix the two? I said, because this is America and that's Jamaican. You don't get it yet? You know what I'm saying? So the lady, I said, listen, just take a little of your sauce and a piece of chicken and put it with some of that grits. And she ate that and was like, whoa, I make this every day and I never eat it like this. And I said, yo, sometimes it just takes somebody to point out something simple. And I'm just having one of those days like that. You know what I mean?
Now with the curry though, do you do the spice? Are you a spicy like you like it spicy or no?
It all depends on the day of the week, man. I can deal with some spicy curry, but I don't go like that. I don't know if it's certain parts of India or Pakistan that do like that real like spicy, like the red and the deep golden and the green. I don't really go that far. You know what I'm saying? I keep mine mild. You feel what I'm saying? Because I want to taste everything else that I put with it. And I don't want to eat sour cream with it. Like that's a thing that many Indian restaurants or Pakistani restaurants or South Indian restaurants, if you go to the real good ones and they give you something spicy, they always gonna give you that little dish of sour cream.
Yeah, because I can't, I like the Hunan chicken, like the spicy Hunan chicken, but some people do it too hot and I can't enjoy it. I still eat it, but like I don't like to be able to pay for it later. If I can feel it coming out, I don't, that's about the limit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And
but I gotta get I'm gonna have to have you shoot me that recipe, man. You did do your thing with them when my lady made them oxtails, so I can vouch, man. Even the trailer, so that sound pretty good, man. I be wanting to jump out there, but then with the places, man, like if you order out, you gotta go in and you gotta talk to them, and then they try to be funny. Like I told somebody, not, or my lady, she be telling people not spicy or not, or light spicy, and then they put no spice, and I'm missing that taste. I still want a hint of it, but I don't want to pay for it later. You know what I'm saying?
The spice kick makes it like, it's a new dimension to it. So if you fuck that up or you go too heavy, you know what I'm saying? It could easily fuck it up. Like I'm slowly bringing my missus into the world of spicy food. because she's like, no, 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 I don't like spicy food, and I don't like food that's salt, that has a salt flavor. And I'm like, those are two components of your tongue that you're just neglecting as far as enjoying what you eat. On just to wrap it up, just to say, listen, the salt part, I let it taste like a piece of Brittany salt from the UK. It's really high in minerals, one of the best salts you can just consume, period. And I let it really try a piece of real Himalayan pink salt. And I was like, see the difference? Like that type of salt makes you like, yo, this is good, like a bag of salty peanuts or salty pretzel with mustard. And she's like, yeah, that's what that brings me to. And I said, yeah, there's a level of salt that is very, very enjoyable, but you just gotta stay within those parameters. And spice works the same way. As long as you in that meter, you're good to go. Like all of those places that say, yeah, we'll give you a free meal and you get this t-shirt and trophy if you eat the hottest things in the world. Like, bro, people don't eat that shit like that.
You know? In y'all world, don't y'all say a little heat? Just a little heat, right? Like a little heat.
Yeah. Give it that little heat, that little kick. You know what I'm saying? Something to get the blood rush and make your face turn a little pink or red to let you know that, oh, wow, this is going to be something different. You know what I'm saying? And you can easily tone the heat down with cream or a good glass of wine if the wine is paired properly. That's another thing people don't understand that takes down heat. And it's like the right type of alcohol. Why do you think Mexicans drink tequila with almost everything? Because that shit takes down the heat.
That's why you can do the salt around the rim, and that's so like a perfect margarita.
Exactly, because it's made from a plant. It's made from the plant's sugar. So it's an ecosystem of just the plant that's just distilled. That shit is actually good for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, word.
All right, so let's get into the jump off, man. This was a good chef session. Good way to start it off.
Yeah. You know, I gotta highlight what you do, man. People don't, we don't really get into it. I don't want it to overshadow the show, but like if people don't get into it, so it's good to get into it and have some fun and have a little, let people come in and, you know what I'm saying, kick it, get settled for a second. But shout out to Cookie Monster, Bodywork, mic check, 1 2 1 2, sounding crystal clear. That's what I like to hear. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna have some fun with this today, and I know there's gonna be some butthurt trolls, but we don't give up. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Z Housekeeping. Number 1, Tim Bradley's no Diddy moment. Tim, I respect you as a Hall of Famer, man. I respect the fact that you even if you wasn't a Hall of Famer, I would have respected you anyway, because you get hit in the head for a living. I respect all boxers, for real. I respect all boxers. I just sometimes I don't like the activity. Sometimes I don't like the agendas or the narratives that they push and all that. But Tim, I always say Tim Bradley is the gift that keeps on giving. And what I mean by that is that every other day or every day he comes out, he says something, and I'm like, he comes out with these head scratchers, and I'd be like, you want me to take the what and leave the what? Like, I'm just confused. And he did a breakdown. I'm not going to use it because I am going to review Oshakie's thing, so I'm not going to do too much of the copyright stuff because, I don't get the interviews. Even though Oshakie know who I am, I don't get the interviews and all that, but like, that is a piece that I appreciate that a lot of channels get. Whether or not I would be asking those line of questions and doing all of that, I don't get them. So I'm going to be getting into some of those Oshakie stuff, but like, I'm not going to pull up what Tim said, but I am going to recommend, I'm going to get Tim some views if you haven't seen it. I want you to go back and watch Tim's, interview from like a couple days ago. A handful of days ago. I don't, it might have been the day before yesterday or 5 days ago, 6 days ago, one of them. It was recent, and I didn't watch it right away, but I wound up getting around to watching it. And the subject of Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney came up. And you know, that wasn't the only thing. I could have did a whole hour live like I normally do, but I'm like, I don't want Tim to think I hate him, because I don't hate him. I'm not anti-Tim. You know what I'm saying? I actually like Tim when he's doing, I can't control him, but like when he's speaking the way, you know, that caters to like the sport in a great way, I enjoy it. He got a sense of humor. He is a funny guy. Tim is cool deep down. I just don't be understanding where is he coming from. I don't understand this loyalty to, like, even though you was with Top Rank, he got like undying blind loyalty to certain fighters at Top Rank, and he shits on other fighters from Top Rank. And I'm like, if you're gonna wear the company banner still, then represent them all. But I don't understand like all of the excuses that he gave for Shakur, because he said a lot of things that turned heads. I'm like, man, every other thing he was saying, I'm like, what are you up to, Tim? Like, why do you spend your time doing this, bro? He got his studio up, everything's running, and he's the gift that keeps on giving. And what he actually said was that Shakur's muscles aren't what he say, groomed enough or established enough to go against Devin Haney, and the face he made and how he talked about Devin Haney's body. He said, when you see Devin Haney's body, like he wanted to say, good God, Lord have mercy. Like, I was gonna pass him a church fan, a virtual church fan, but I'm like, I don't like, learn how to say no Diddy, and why would you jump out your body? And immediately, you know, when talking to AC about it, we was going back and forth about it, and he was like, hold on, man, ain't Shakur older than Devin? Like, ain't he, like, this is like weird. And I've never, like, I never come across things like that. It's one thing, because we always knew there was a weight class apart, and we always knew that, well, me, I'm gonna say it, because AC is a Devin, huge Devin fan. Devin is growing on me, but I do point out things that are not right and exact about him. And I always said that he's been weight bullying. Right now, if we could put him in the David Benavidez category, I think that he could rumble at 47 or 54. I think he belong up there at 54. That's why I didn't like all the name attachment with Boots and Xander, and you was never going to go up there to 54. There's a lot of killers, the Fondoras and all, like, it's a lot of killers up there at 54. But for Tim to say that Shakur's muscles aren't developed, I'm like, man, how many excuses do you have in that treasure trove of excuses for Shakur not to fight these people? It's like with Shakur, he's always creative. One of many, though, but he like leads the pack in being so creative as to bringing forth reasons why we shouldn't get Shakur against whoever. He jumped out of his body and was like, man, one day he was like, Oshaki was like, man, he was singing Oshaki praises and all this. And then when it came around to him and Shakur, he was just like, he just threw water all over it. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, how do you flip that switch? I can't do it. I just got to be consistent. But like, my word of advice, I'm a little older than Tim. You know what I'm saying? I know he got hit in the head and I always joke around and say, well, I went to Iraq. So we both was in some dangerous things. He was a gladiator and we're keeping it boxing, you know. But I'm like, I don't be understanding. I'll just say, man, learn how to say what the new folks be saying, how they say no Diddy, because that was a little odd, man. Don't be looking at Devin body like that, and stop making all these excuses for Shakur. You can't come out and convince us that he's one of them ones and then make up all these excuses for something that don't, because what I notice is when it comes down to Shakur, they always make excuses beforehand, and then once he chooses the opponent, he sets his eyes, then they become hindsight 2020s, and they get all aboard with the one that he chooses. And I'm like, that's funny, because y'all don't do that with Tank. It's just like everybody's indicating how well of a fighter or how good of a fighter Lamont Roach is, but they were not saying that like he's a good fight for everybody else. Oh, that's a great fight, man, Lamont and him. But it wasn't a good fight for Tank, and there's always this double standard. And my apologies if I always use Tank, but that's the most glaring between Tank, Earl, and Jamel, who's not active right now. You know, Spencer's coming back, but between them, those are always the guys that. It's a different standard for those guys. So I just thought that was interesting. I thought I would point that out, man. I'm just like, man, you know, Tim is the gift that keeps on giving. That was number one. Number two, Brian Norman's maturation should be studied. Man, I still like Brian Norman, man. Even though he suffered defeat, I like how he, took ownership of his defeat. He didn't run from it. He didn't make a lot of excuses. He actually gave Devin Haney credit and said, listen, man, the guy has a team. He has a machine behind him. And he was like, I took away from it. And then he went and put immediate action in. He made some changes in the corner. He basically went out and got another trainer, somebody more tenured. He's over there with Ronnie Shields. He's in the gym with Maul Charlo, Big Maul, still undefeated. One of the best jabs, in the business still. Mental health issues, ups and downs and all that. He's still undefeated. He's in there with him. He's in there with Earl Spence coming back. He's still saying, man, he's one of the greats. Always look to him. He's still acknowledging Earl Spence's greatness. But the interviewer and everywhere they go since, November, when Devin did the unthinkable in my book, I didn't see him doing that. He made me eat crow. I'll continue to say it. He humbled me. I'm like, if you're going to make me eat crow, goddamn it, that's how you do it. Now, he won, he knocked him down and all that, but like as far as like everybody is criticizing a performance, I was saying, man, 70 punches, man, come on, I went over the numbers and all of that. But like the first thing Brian Norman said was when he was asked about Devin and the loss and what did he learn, he's like, first of all, I'm tired of talking about Devin Haney and the loss. He's like, go back through the other videos, listen to what I said in my response, you get everything you need there. And then he continued to he still was very concentrated on what because he's one of them guys, he ain't just gonna come on in and just push his agenda. He's actually gonna listen. He's gonna actively listen. He's gonna address every comment, and he still has that down south, that DSGB, down south Georgia boy swag that he got, that southern swag, where he still is gonna joke around, he's still gonna play around, but then he's gonna be straightforward. And he's just a throwback guy. He embodied the spirit of how those guys were in the throwback, like the guys that we call throwback eras. There's only a few right now. You might be one of the last of the Mohicans. It maybe about a handful, maybe 2 handfuls of throwback guys right now. A lot of them don't even get the attention. They overshadowed by the media. But he's coming back. He's poised. And I like the fact that he didn't get down in the dumps. He's coming right back. He's getting active. He's fighting this guy from Canada. Look like there are some disadvantages there. I think maybe height and reach there, and we're going to get to see. And the early comments were that, Brian Norman not going to just be able to rely on his power. And I think he knows that now. I think, we're going to see whether or not that was a loss or a lesson. Because if it was a lesson, he's going to learn from that. Like how when Gary Antoine lost, he bounced right back. He put that in his rucksack. He made some adjustments, and now nobody would say his name. And I see that a lot of people, I don't know if this was his choice to fight this guy, but like I didn't hear nobody saying I want Brian Norman. I definitely didn't hear Keyshawn. I didn't hear Keyshawn calling out no Brian Norman and saying I want that smoke. I didn't hear it. I didn't get the memo. Somebody let me know. But there's a lot of people that even though Devin did that, there's a lot of people that I didn't hear them calling out Brian Norman saying he looked vulnerable and this and this and that. I heard a lot of people trashing him, a lot of people, and that's what they do. When you're still dangerous and you got it going on and maybe you suffer the loss, they're going to act like you got, the heebie-jeebies. So he is coming back. He's going to be on that undercard. We get to see him again. And I just enjoy the way he carries himself, how he conducts himself. And I think for him to be so young, and how he addressed the whole change about his father and all that, and how, his father still supporting. I'm glad to hear that Brian Norman is, going to be around and still going to be there in some capacity or whatever. And even how he addressed it, and I'm gonna leave it here, but he said, they addressed the whole thing about Brian Norman Sr. not being in the corner, and he was mimicking his father, imitating his father, and how he'd be talking. He was like, I know Pops, look, let me just do my thing, let me do my thing, what I'm saying, I'll get back to you. And he was pointing as if he was going to be pointing, like as if Ronnie Shields is right there. Let me work on what I got going on, let me work my mojo, and I'm going to get right back to it. But like, he's a breath of fresh air. Him, Abdullah Mason, Oshaki, even though Oshaquie's like 32, he's still young, but like I'm talking about the younger guys, early 20s, man. It's a breath of fresh air for, guys like Abdullah, guys like Brian Mason, Brian Norman, you know, and I think people can learn a lot from him. Even in adversity, he's mature. You know, he's not tuck and tail and trying to make excuses and do all this and all that. He took ownership. He's bouncing back, and we want to see what he got. And I'm excited about that. I hope he does well. You know, and even when they asked this last thing, I promise. Even when they asked him, do he feel like he need a knockout and all this, he said, listen, all I got to do is be myself. Which I'm like, man, that's very mature, because in hindsight, when you look at what he said about what happened with Devin, he was like, man, I kind of got outside my body. I was being, you know, he's probably reading the newspaper clippings. He said there was some distractions in camp, which, you know, is inevitable. That was a very, very big fight. Devin has a huge name. He has a huge social media following. You know, and that was one of the things he said. He said, man, I was saying some things and doing something, even though it was funny. You know, I don't know if he has any regrets. I wouldn't have any regrets, because, I mean, that's what happened. It was a learning experience. Maybe if you don't get humbled in, you get humbled in the worst way, you know, by somebody else. I don't know. But he said, all I do is be myself, man. All I do is go back to just being myself, being Brown. That's all I be trying to tell everybody online, you know, out in public or whatever. Just be yourself. Be you university. And he's going back to school on that. So shout out to Brian Norman, man. I'm pulling for you, man. You're one of my guys, man. No matter what, you're one of my guys. Number 3, Clout Sean Crash Out strikes again. I just gave the man credit. Just gave the man a salute. When he was asked the question about, what do you say to all the fans who say you call out all these names and then you don't fight none of them? He came back and said, you know what? What I'll say, they absolutely right. He's like, I didn't want to fight Albright. I wanted to do something else. But, you know, we here now. I'm going to do it. You know, he pretty much saying, I'm going to stop this guy and all this. And I'm like, okay. I seen the thing. I'm not even going to get on to AC's thing where he said that him and Shakur would be a draw. I'm not going to get into that, because I'm already over that. That's like picking a scab for me. I already said that Batman and Robin, they're like Andy and Chucky, best friends forever. You know, if you know about Child's Play in the movie, you know, Wily Kid, Wily Cat. That's who they are. So I always said, don't ask. Back when I did that video, I said, don't ask. I thought they were the Young Guns, but they're really Batman and Robin. And they think that they're going to be able to prowl at 140 and 40, like, you know, the like two lions just roaming and seeking how they together, you know, holding hands. You know, like Dorothy and the Tin Man down the Yellow Brick Road. That's what they think. So I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to cook on that. But what I am going to cook on is the fact that not only here recently did he jump back out his body again against Abdullah not too long ago. And I'm like, dude, he's at 35. He said, I'll fight you when you get to 40. But I'm like, you're at 40 talking about you was going to go to 47. You didn't do that. You're still at 40. You called out Abdullah. I'm like, why are you going there? Even after you already apologized and you said you was out of your body for all that stuff you said to Abdullah leading up to the De Los Santos fight. So I'm like, I don't understand. And Abdullah, he's too respectable. He carry himself too well. He got his own thing going. And they all under the same umbrella of Jay Prince, Shakur, him, and Abdullah. All moving 3 different ways. I love the way Abdullah could write a book for how he's moving. He got Cordina coming up. We're going to see things. He's coming out of his shell. He got that appetite for smoke. But the thing that Keyshawn said is, with the news of Lomachenko coming back, he's like, Lomachenko, fight me. Like, how is that going to work? And why are you saying Lomachenko right now? That's why I be calling them Clout Sean. And like the people that you call out and all that, it's just like call out any and everybody. That shit don't work. I'm tired of the Linguini method, man. Stop calling out these, man. Get a direction. You got Nair Albright. He has a full camp. Nair Albright was saying that I guess word got put out. According to YSM, he put up a post and said word got out, I guess, that down there in Virginia, they not letting that man, they ain't trying to let that man train and all that. I'm like, so you want another handicap? Just like you was going to try to fight De Los Santos overweight and you want him to just take the money? And he was like, nope. I'm gonna take the money and I'm not gonna fight you because you're trying to, when Samson felt his back and he wasn't even wet, he was like, oh, this dude didn't even try. And then we're not gonna get into what Bernie said about how I didn't know he couldn't make the way when they were still affiliated. He blew everybody. Camp didn't get paid. They trained and all that hard work and investment went away for free. But you want Lomachenko? Are we buying that? I don't know. But all I know is that, man, it'd be better if you just, like, I don't know why you ain't called. Like, if you want to go to 47, especially with the Haney fight falling out, why not go get Rolly? Why not call on Rolly? I'm like, man, people can, y'all can choose to see and adhere to whatever it is your favorite content creator saying or whatever floats your boat to find your lost remote. But there are some guys that be talking all that noise. It could have been Tito. It could have been Frank Martin. It could have been Rolly. If you're going to really go to 47, you ain't going to fight Tiger. Tiger said, it hurt my heart when Tiger said him and Keyshawn will never fight. It could have been Rohan Polanco. You had so many options. Ryan. You could have did Ryan. So it's all these names, but like those names might be attached with an ass whooping. And out of all the people, an inactive Loma that's at 35, I would assume that he's at 35 because going to 40, that'll be just like Cambosa's at 40 or Isaac Pitbull Cruz at 40. I don't think that they belong at 40. I think that they have to be very selective in their opponents and all that. But like, man, you love them guys where you're taller, longer, more athletic, more active. You know what I'm saying? Like you love picking on the guys where you got all these advantages. And I'm like, that's part of the thing that bothers me with boxing. Like, we understand you got talent. What I can say is the only reprieve I gave Keyshawn is if the fight get made and you get in the ring, he is going to try to hurt you. He's not going to have a fencing contest like Shakur and try to just stand there and outpoint you and touch you. No, he's going to try to hurt you. So I'll give him that. He will fight. He will turn up. So, and he do that body work, which is a key. So I have to highlight that. But I don't understand the Lomachenko call out. That's just another glorified clout chase. And I'm like, man, it's just, you're not going to change. He hasn't changed. I know he got baptized and all that. I know you're on your spiritual journey and all that. I salute you for that. He did seem calm in the press conference, but Clout Sean, man, just stop it, bro. And that's the housekeeping, AC. I know I said a lot, man, but where you want to start on addressing the housekeeping?
Man, I'll start with Keyshawn first. So basically, with the Loma call out, I was just like, all right, I just put it in the same boat as you trying to say, I'm actually standing. When he said, y'all see this? I'm actually standing here pulling teeth to get this guy to fight me. Well, that guy that you wanted to fight you was at 135 pounds. He told you, he said, you at 140, I'm at 135. When I get there, I'll definitely come see you because you'll just be another dude in my way. Keyshawn then ignores that and he keeps trying to make it seem that Abdullah didn't want to fight him. So for me, in the way he's moving, you're obviously out here. How do I say this? Keyshawn right now is the guy that may or may not have a good bag of weed, but he's running around acting like something's wrong with the weed he got because you just see him everywhere like, yo, I got weed. Yo, you need some weed? I got some weed. And it's just like, Duke, I'm in I'm in the vegetable stand. I'm trying to buy apples and oranges. Why are you pressing me about a bag of weed? Well, just because, I got that weed. All right, when I need a bag of weed, I'll call you. Give me your math or whatever. Nah, I'll just see you everywhere. So he's just all over the place with it, and it just don't really make no sense. Where other fighters, and I'm going to bring up one, like a David Benavidez. David Benavidez is on his mission. He's on his path. He said, I want this guy, or this guy. So what happens if you don't get those guys? Well, I'm going to take this guy or this guy. And either one of those paths, you know, they're realistic for David Benavidez because he's moving in that direction to make those things happen. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with OshaquieFoster. He was pursuing Shakur. There's receipts of him pursuing Shakur. He then makes a big dog move to pursue Shakur. Shakur then avoids him, and then you see the path. He says, okay, if you're not going to do this right now, I'm going to go back down and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. But I'm just letting you know, the minute you touch foot back down at 35, I'm going to see what I could do to make that fight happen. And even if you want to do it at 40, we can. What part of any of that is Keyshawn doing? If you within that same camp, right, of Shakur and Abdullah Mason, Abdullah Mason is like, look, right now, I'm just a young champion. I'm still being built to a certain degree, but I know my path. You know, my peoples know my path. So what they put in front of me that's best for me, that's what we're going to do. But he's staying true to his game, man, and looking for that smoke. Again, you're in the same camp. You got Shakur right there. You work out with him. You got Abdullah Mason. Shakur is not giving us anything, but at the end of the day, there was that moment within Shakur's mentality that he was actively trying to make, get fights. And you got to applaud him for when he got to 35 and he was trying to get those fights. You feel what I'm saying? But you had no hardware, you had nothing. So it's like, yeah, you Shakur, but so fucking what? You know what I'm saying? Bring something to the table and then we could talk. And that just kind of really let people know who that great Shakur really was. If you really put him going to 35 and how he was treated, if you put that under a microscope, tells you a lot. So for me, it's like Shakur is not even trying to do it like that egregiously. Bro, you just everywhere and everything trying to make a fight with anybody that laces up a pair of boxing gloves. I wouldn't be surprised right now if you talk about fighting, going down to fight Bam. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just ridiculous in your movement. Slow it down. This is your career. You know what I'm saying? The way you move and you're acting like you're not really focused on this. You're just trying to get bags because there are other things you really, really want to do. And that's my issue, and that's how deep my mind went with the Loma call out. As far as looking at him during the press conference, he hasn't learned nothing. Keyshawn is still the same Keyshawn before he got in trouble. And he's just on the clock all over again. Keyshawn is one of those dudes that you just say, you know what? That's Keyshawn. He spazzed out again, or yo, that's your man. He got locked up again. Word, he got locked up again? Yeah, it's that nigga Keyshawn, bro. Oh, I don't know. I don't know when he gonna get it right, bro. He's a good dude, but I don't know when he gonna get it right. That's Keyshawn Davis. He may have the biggest heart. He may want to do the most for Norfolk, Virginia, and stuff like that. But who he is as a person is his biggest problem. Because the way he was squirming, looking up, and all uncomfortable in his seat, and yo, listen, he just had a last fight. Listen, but the dude trying to tell you that's part of the promotion. You really thought that this fight wasn't gonna be promoted on that incident? That's the fucking reason why we here. And for the dude that have to explain that to Keyshawn, I was like, whoa, that is crazy. Like, you about to spaz out on your own shit all over again, bro. Just swallow it. You did the dumb shit. Don't embrace it. You know what I'm saying? Embrace it.
Yeah.
When it came down to Brian Norman and his opponent was over there, talking his stuff, Brian Norman just had the look on his face. He like, I'm hearing what you're saying, but don't get too slick with it because you still got to get in the ring with me. And that was a different type of maturity and poise that I looked at and said, okay, the makeup of these two young men, who is more acting like a person who had a belt? When I looked at Brian Norman, he never got uncomfortable when he was asked the uncomfortable questions. When I look at Keyshawn was 100% uncomfortable being asked the uncomfortable questions. He would shrug his shoulders, look up, take deep breaths, drop his shoulders, just everything in the world to just signal that I haven't gotten over this shit. I don't want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Let's just forget it ever happened. So that's just that with Keyshawn. Again, just like I just brought him up, Brian Norman Jr. is like, he's a rare breed of a boxer. You know, he's the breed that says, if I mess up or I lose, it's because of me ultimately. So it's up to me ultimately to fix it. So do I have to make hard decisions in fixing it? Yes, I do. Do I have to do this strategically so these hard decisions won't cause friction between the people in my inner circle? Yes, I do. So you can tell he's very calculated. You know, you can tell to a certain degree, he might be, if he doesn't play chess, he would be a great chess player. You know what I'm saying? Because he sees things in a matter of speaking. And then he can take with the hindsight and say, okay, I messed up in that situation. I messed up. I got all caught up in it. You know, yes, it was entertaining and stuff like that, but ultimately it took away from me and what I was supposed to do in that ring. So you got to give that young man credit for that. I like the opponent that he's facing. Here it is, on your way back. People are expecting you to win, but this guy has dimensions over you. And you kind of just, got outpointed by someone who does somewhat of the same thing that this opponent does. So you can see that Ronnie Shields is like maybe setting him up to be able to deal with the calculated boxer, like a Devin Haney or anyone else who's just a calculated strategic boxer. So you can see that within this opponent that, yeah, this is the direction that Ronnie Shields is going to be taking them in. And that power is now going to be backed by some skills, by a ring IQ and experience and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see what happens. I'm also excited to see how he performs in this fight. I'm going to say this. I am expecting some adversity that he may go through because he has to go back to something that he left alone and decided to focus on something else. And you can kind of see that with Wilder. Wilder was becoming like a boxer. He didn't have all the greatest skills, but his biggest and most dangerous weapon that people just didn't really, I don't think they understood about Wilder, is the fact that it wasn't his power. It was the timing. It was the ability to see that split second and deliver it. Boom, then it's done. The power is just the natural effect. You know what I'm saying? Like turning on water, turning on the faucet, water is going to come out. That's the natural effect of when you go to that faucet, what you expect. So you see Wilder, you expect the power. What you don't expect is that timing. And I think that's the thing that maybe Ronnie Shields sees and says, listen, we're not going to turn you into what they tried to do with Wilder, was to make him a boxer. They should have just really had his boxing, like Mark Breland started, work around that timing that he had. And Ronnie Shields sees something in him that they're going to work on, that's going to allow Brian Norman's power to really, really, in my opinion, just carry over and be more effective. It's going to be power shots in the right moments. I'm here, we close up, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to smother the power shot going to the head. I may shoot for the uppercut or the body shot. And that's what you do. Don't focus on the head when you in that close like that. You're going to focus on the head, shoot it up the middle with the uppercut. You know what I'm saying? So I think those fundamentals of that higher level transitioning into the elite level is where Ronnie Shields is going to bring him. And the last to cap it off, Tim Bradley. I just was in awe of what he was saying. I was just like, this is one of your serious brain fart moments, because you had to rewatch that video and say, did I just say Shakur's muscles haven't fully developed yet? Like, I took everything else aside and was just like laser focused on that. Like, wait a minute. Did this dude just say this? Like, how deep is the excuse well gonna go? Like, how, you know, what is this? We're searching. I don't know. It's the missing piece of DNA. Like, why do you have to go this deep to sell this narrative? Shakur is not 17 years old. You know, and you just talked about him like he's a 17-year-old dude whose muscles haven't grown, and he's already a 3-4 division champion. Yes, everybody would be talking about this 17, 18-year-old, even 20-year-old kid if there was somebody out there like that. So you're killing me with the Shakur lingo. Just Tim, let Shakur just be the fighter who he's gonna be. If he can be beat, he can be beat. If there's another guy out there who's just as bad, it is what it is. We don't need excuses. We don't need him to be in that category, because you didn't do it for Terrence Crawford. When it came down to Terrence Crawford, you was like, yeah, you know, Terrence, he's a bad dude. I think Terrence can beat everybody out there. And Terrence is the dude who's, you know, he's going to go for the smoke. He's going to go for the toughest opponents. Okay. You polar opposite with Shakur. Lil Bro, why you so opposite with Lil Bro? Oh, nah, Lil Bro don't need to be doing this because, you know, he's really a small guy. But Shakur, you know, he could definitely beat. I'm gonna tell y'all, everybody at 47, I think that's where the money is for Shakur. That's where all the fights are with Shakur at 47. But he's still a very small guy. I mean, you know, he's a natural 126 pounder. So going to 47, I mean, with all of those champs and all of those opportunities, that makes the most sense. But you have to really understand that he's a small guy, so you got to give him many, many years, maybe 10, maybe 15 more years before he gets up to 147 pounds. But he's a small guy, so you know you just got to put it in mind that it's going to take him a long time. And it's like, what the fuck are you telling me, bruh? Is he too small to fight these guys, but yet he needs to go to 47 because that's where the money is? You're saying two different things. It's like you're Two-Face from Batman, or Gemini from one of these old cartoons. I'm brain farting on the name of it. Thunder the Barbarian, Gemini, the dude who had one face and then his whole shit spin around, then the helmet come up and he's somebody completely different. Like, Tim, you can't be doing shit like that, because then when we see you on ProBots in the comments and we're just razzing you, not being disrespectful, just fucking with you, teasing you on the mere fact that you say dumb shit like this and you don't want to acknowledge us, but you want to acknowledge every dude that's yeah, to the legend, Mr. Bradley's in the building. Yeah, how you doing, bro? You feel what I'm saying? Like me and Body didn't see that. Like we weren't coming after you. Not being disrespectful, just fucking with you on what you said. We still have respect for you as being a Hall of Famer. But that don't mean, your free speech can't be critiqued.
Bars.
So at the end of the day, bro, I respect you, man. I respect everything about you, but God damn, bro, that shit had me dying, man. I was like, yo, this dude just say Shakur muscle ain't developed yet. I had to go back and Google the age of Devin Haney, who else? Jaron Ennis, you know what I'm saying, and Shakur Stevenson. And all three of y'all around the same age, Devin being the youngest. So I'm like, you said, when you look at Dev is like up there at 47. He developed and Devin body is yada, yada, yada. But Shakur, who's older than him, ain't developed yet. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't know genetics work that way. So that's where I land that plane on those dudes, man. It was that was just a fun, housekeeping right there.
Yeah, but let me address well, for one, it's odd because Shakur then got married and procreated, but his muscles ain't developed. I'm like, how does that work, bro?
Word.
Like, this man he's married to some skins and then already reproduced himself, but his muscles, man, and Devin is just so, man, they act like Devin is Lee Haney, and muscles don't, it's all these different oddball things because as a technical boxer, they always say, oh man, how big, because they talk about how Frank is all cut up. They talked about how, what's your boy name? Yard. How Yard is, so muscles don't, there's a lot of people, K9 Bundred used to be all brick, so in one breath, they'll tell you, oh man, that don't mean nothing. That size and that muscle and all that don't mean nothing. But he's one of them ones, and then his muscles gotta develop, man. He gotta, man, he's on snack, so it's like, man, that's why I say Tim. This could have been a whole show about Tim and that whole interview he did because it was so many oddball things, and I'm like, man, we gotta respect what you say. And that day when we was over there trying to engage with Tim, you were very, very respectful and everything, man. And he just ignored it, and then he came back. He said something, but then he ain't have an appetite for smoke. I'm gonna leave it at that. But the one thing I'm gonna address before we get into the meat and potatoes is this thing that Keyshawn doing. This is a thing that I know it was a game that it was part of game, relationship game, hooking up game that people do when they're younger. It's like if you and your partner think that this chick is fine, y'all both holler at her. It's like, well, she gonna pick one of us if y'all just be consistent in you. So I think that's what he doing, because I'd be like, hold on, man. Not only will y'all not fighting again, I'm not even pressuring for it. It's like, I'm like, man, I don't even want to see it. Why? Because they'll just take our money. They're not going to have, remember that aggression that Oshaki said, man, they want people to go in the ring and they don't want to have that kind of aggression. So that's why I'm like, don't even ask, because even if they signed up and said they'll fight each other, I don't even think I want to see it, because they're not going to try to hurt each other. They're not. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they're just going to take our money. You talking about putting on the mask and robbing the bank. That's what they're going to do if that fight is ever announced, unless something crazy happened. And now with all the, the writing, the script writing that they do and how they carry things, that all could be fake. So I don't even want to see it. There ain't going to be no real aggression in it. But the game that I think they're playing it's kind of odd that they won't fight each other. But it's like a lot of the people that Shakur will be linked to, Keyshawn is trying to be linked to, but he's supposed to be moving up. So it's like you're being double-minded. You're still all over the place. And Nair Albright actually read him his rights on that stage. He was like, man, He said he was gonna knock me out the first time. He didn't knock me out. He said his brother was gonna beat me. That didn't happen. He said, and he just ran him down, and Keyshawn kept looking at him like he just wanted to swing on him right then and there. It's like, but it's nothing but facts. That was the epitome of how, you know, when you be spitting nothing but facts against somebody and they can't say nothing, but they just want to fight. Then all of a sudden, it's like, no, address what I'm saying, because you did say those things, and those things wasn't true. He had a point. Now, was that a close fight? I don't think that fight was as close, but it got overturned, and here y'all are again. So, you know, Naya Albright, he said exactly, he was on point. You know what I'm saying? With everything he said, he just shut it down. And again, I couldn't take too much from Keyshawn because I know he will turn up inside the ring. I was gonna make a little jokey joke about will he make weight on this one, but he did make weight last time. So I'm not gonna do that. But like, that's what I think him and Shakur be doing. I think that they're playing that game that we used to play when we was younger. If y'all both like a chick, y'all both gonna holler, and she gonna pick one of y'all. The other one just gonna have to live with it. So I think that's what he's doing with Lomachenko and some of these guys, because it's odd how I pointed this out the other day. It's odd how Shakur said Abdullah Mason is too green and he won't fight him. So that's his excuse, even though he want to go back down to 35. And here you go, a couple of days ago, Keyshawn calling out or acting like he want to fight Abdullah. And well, it was a couple of weeks ago, acting like he want to fight Abdullah. I'm like, man, y'all are weird, man. Y'all are weird. But that's all I had from that. So let's get into the meat and the potatoes. Unless you got anything. You got anything else?
No, I just muted up because there was a loud ass ambulance that passed me. But there's many different. I mean, you could probably look at Keyshawn from many different angles and just see that there's still something that's not genuine. And I think when he gets to his genuine place, that's when, and I'm going to be bold enough to say it, that's when the scary Keyshawn is going to come out. When that genuine Keyshawn comes out, or he comes into his own realization, you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm going to pretty much say, damn near up against anybody at 140 to 147, I will probably bet on Keyshawn. You know what I'm saying? The biggest fight that I would say for Keyshawn is this: Mr. Gary Russell and Andy Hirioka. If Andy Hirioka stays down at 140, because I'm hearing he's going up to 47. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is this. I said the statement damn near, and the damn near is getting through Mr. Gary Russell. You want to prove yourself to be who you say you are, and whenever you asked about a fight, it's yada, yada, yada. Honestly, friendship or not, friends and family plan or not, you know what I'm saying? None of that matter. You and Mr. Gary Russell is the fight to be made at 140. If you gonna stay at 140 instead of doing everything else. If not, Shakur and Mr. Gary Russell is the fight to be made. Y'all could lock that division up, y'all three alone. And then if Tito show he can get up on that level, then yeah, throw Tito in the mix. You know what I'm saying? And you four could just, any given day, man, nobody gonna care who win or lose. Y'all just gonna be all of these great fights. And I believe it doesn't really happen until Keyshawn comes into his own self-realization. He does it when he's in the ring, but outside of the ring, that's the missing piece. You gotta be consistent on both sides.
Yeah, I was, silly me for listening to him saying that he wanted a champion at 47. I'm like, if you wanted a champion at 47, you got Roller, you got Ryan, you got some other guys at 47. But I think that it's one of them things where Jay know what he doing. Jay know what he doing, man. They playing us, man. Like it just allows, it's just because everybody on social media just want to clamor for whatever they say, whoever they align with. Oh yeah, that'll be a great fight. That'll be a great fight. And it's like, no, that's not what you said. You said you wanted to go to 47. Go to 47, bro. 47 is whack right now since nobody want to fight Rolly. I mean, nobody want to fight Rolly. I mean, I guess we could take Tiger off, but you got Rohan Polanco. You got some, and I believe Tito will fight him at 47. If you want to do that, if you want to play that game, I think Tito will go right up, because the only reason why I think Rohan is up there is because people wasn't really trying to get in there with him at 40, even though Rohan could have got Nicholas Flaws. I don't know what happened, but Tiger wound up getting him. So it's some smoke at 47 if he wanted, but you know, I think they playing this, man. It's good to have them in, because that's why I said they're gonna mess up boxing. I said this, I called this a long time ago. I said y'all gonna mess up the landscape of boxing, where y'all gonna be that applauded for your positioning and your skill set. Y'all both two fellow Olympians. Y'all cannot be in the same weight class and never fight each other. You know what I'm saying? They try to divide and conquer the division, and I think as long as they're in the same weight class, it alleviates the pressure for them to fight the people that they need to fight.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's real selective in who, you didn't hear about no Rolly. That's a champ. Like with the Devin, I would have been on the first thing smoking trying to get Rolly, because people say, "Oh man, Rolly, he ain't." Oh man, y'all just because when it came up to Devin, Rolly wasn't this and he wasn't that, and I'm like, nah. Well, if he ain't this and that, then a 50% shot on the fight that's going to sell, which we proved the other day, that would have happened. When that fell out, that could have been Keyshawn. Keyshawn could have got Ryan. If Ryan is a hype job and Barrios wasn't this and that, now all of a sudden that Ryan, you know what I'm saying, beat him up, you could have got Ryan. So he was talking about Crocker. So it's like they be selective, man. So he got Nair Albright in front of him. I'm not saying I think he's gonna lose to Albright, because I don't think he's gonna lose, but this could be a big banana peel, because they gave this man a full camp. I hope they're not messing with him down there in the gyms and they actually gonna let him train, because that's dumb as hell. You won't let the man, so you want this man to be like, so you want another advantage over Nair, which you already beat, but like, come on, man. Like, it's just bad. But this could be a banana peel. We're gonna see though. We're gonna see.
I just the last thing, his overall where he's at, I'm pretty solid. I'm pretty solid with him. Concerning his talk to moving up to 47, here's my issue. If Brian Norman would have beat Devin Haney, right? Bet we would have Brian Norman versus Rolly. This would probably be that card right now, with Keyshawn versus Albright as the co-main. You feel then? Exactly. Exactly. So the point I'm making is that to piggyback off of what you were saying earlier about Dev getting the belt and what's going on at 47, we were cooking on that and saying that, some of these fights we want the underdog guy to win because it'll be better for boxing. It'll get things moving, because the young guy is hungry. So even though we were cooking on that at that time, Dev versus Brian Norman, we were also thinking about the possibilities of who wins what's next. And we were saying, yeah, Dev versus Rolly is a great fight. I think that's when Bills pulled up as well, because Bills is a super Rolly fan. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, this is why it may sound crazy when we saying some of this stuff to some people, like, how could you be doing this and why would you pick him? Because we like the young fighter, we want to support the young fighter, and we know as far as the business in that division is concerned, the better option is if that young fighter wins, because then we're gonna get unifications, and then things are really, really gonna get moving. Much like when the young Errol Spence came up to 140, he got it popping belt by belt. Keith Thurman was another young guy in 47 that was getting it moving because he unified, but then he became injury prone. So then Errol Spence comes in. Errol Spence now one by one. Strap season, big fish.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? Then Terrence Crawford comes up there. You feel what I'm saying? Like a killer whale, and just snatches all the belts in one shot. But it doesn't take away from the one by one who owned that division. That was Errol Spence. Who owned it before him, or was one of the people who were putting their names in the hat to own it? Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao. So at the end of the day, man, you know, that's all I'm saying. You know, if you're gonna do it, do it.
Yeah, and
Norman would have been the dude to do it.
And guys like Brian Norman, and even I think Abdullah to a certain extent, they already know that they're not going to get the hype that like some of these guys get in the command over the media. So they know that they gotta fight guys. They gotta fight those guys to prove themselves. And they got that throwback thing in them where it's like they grew up watching, even though they're young, their fathers had them watching people and watching the throwback. So that's been ingrained in them. So they know, hey man, for me to get it, I can get it. I don't need the social media. I can get in the ring, and as long as I'm getting in the ring with these guys that people want to see me, if I get in there and show up and show out, I can write my own, you know what I'm saying, destiny. And so they know that it's not going to be, because the boxing boys, they not going to promote you like that. These other guys, they only going to promote who got the gossip and all that going, or the drama going on. They not. So as long as you get in the ring with a viable opponent and you show up and show out, like David Benavidez, he just keep doing it over and over again. You know, he keeps showing us that I'm one of them ones. He's not just saying it, he's doing it. And they know that, you know what I'm saying? That's why sometimes, you know, I pull for them, because I'm like, man, these kind of guys, they not going, like Wardley. And I'm going to transition into the meat and say, like Wardley. Wardley said, listen, I'm not one of them guys that's going to take my belt and try to go find the easiest fight. I'm going to take my belt and I'm going to defend it against somebody that, you know what I'm saying, like what he did with Dubois. They're like, boxing today, boxers are not doing that. They would have grabbed that and ran around for a little while and finagled the bagel. And, you know, and that's bad. That's a recipe for disaster, because I keep saying, we're coming this year. I said there was going to be a couple upsets. I thought that was, I don't know if that was an upset, because maybe I was just high on Wardley, but I said this year we're coming up on it where we're going to see a couple upsets. Why? Because these people keep choosing and refusing, and they did, like you said, they done mopped themselves into a corner, and it's going to be a fight that they pick, like how Morrell got that guy, and then all of a sudden, boom, he got stopped right at the end of that fight. You know, we're going to see that, because you can't do that. And then some of these guys, they chomping at the bit to get you in the ring. So you're going to mess around and lose to somebody that you had no business even fighting if you would have fought the guys that everybody wanted. And we're coming up on it. Like, we're right on the verge of seeing that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel, man. But let's get into the meat and potatoes. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. Ray goes to school. I believe class is already in session, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to go ahead and break down, you know, this interview that he had. And I'm gonna say salute to Sean Zattel. He does have access to a lot of fighters, and I like some of his questions. You know, I like some of it. Sometimes I don't like the spirit behind it, because it's almost like he's it's almost like he works for the get along gang, and I'll point that out. But what I'm saying is, we just saw OshaquieFoster give a clinical B2A. He put belt to ass, right? And I can't help but think that this is going to be an extension of the run The AC be talking about runs. Oshaki is already on a run. And he's one of them guys that are doing what we need him to do for the vitality of the sport. Because not only he was one of 2 B-sides who actually sent the contract, yet the knee pad wearing, throat coat spraying, tonsil jewelry displaying, reach around, extending, having fans are still saying, oh, that was clout. Well, how do you send an offer with the things that Rolly had, where Devin first came on and said the money was good, or the things that Oshaki had in particular, where he said, okay, I can get you your belt back. I'll pay your fees. That can come on my price. I'll pay your fees. I'll get you your belt back. You know, if that's what you want to do, we'll fight in your backyard. Proof is that because they're fighting down in Houston. Shout out to Dev Wall. He's going to be in the building. I say take plenty of pictures and photos and videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, get it all. Soak it up. I wish I could go. But Oshaki sent that offer. And the fans and everybody else, oh man, that's just clout and all this and that. It's like, no, this is what we want the boxers to have. Because a lot of the time you hear, oh man, I'm the A side. Can't nobody send me all. I know they were saying that with Tank. Ain't nobody sent Tank an offer. It's like, yeah, you can, but an offer would say, okay, I see what you're trying to do. That would at least get the A side's attention and say, okay, I see what you're trying to do. You really want to fight me then? Okay, let's do this. I'm a counter, and this is how we gonna do it. But if you don't do that, then you can't say that it's clout. So we saw what he did to Fortune, and Fortune that beat many, many champions. Yes, he had the setback against anyway, but at one point in time, not me, but a lot of people had Fortune on their pound for pound. I know Shakur, after he seen what Oshaki did, Shakur discounted and said, oh man, we knew that, man. He was the smaller guy. He was this and this and that. I'm like, man, ain't it skills pay the bills? It's funny how it ain't skills pay the bills when it's somebody, you know, that might be able to whoop your ass. So we did this. I did this segment called The Fuck Is a Duck. That was part 1. Because Oshaki has had his eyes set on Shakur. And he said, listen, man, I don't want to be buddy and all that. I just want to beat you up. I was like, man, that's one of the hardest things. So he had his eyes on him, and Shakur inserted Ray Ford. Ray Ford kind of came out of nowhere. But we're going to break down the interview, but I don't want to steal too much thunder. But this was the first part of The Fuck Is a Duck. The second one was this. He's always had his eyes on that. He's always had his eyes on Shakur since they had their little, you know what I'm saying? And Shakur said some things that he shouldn't have said, you know, and he's been pursuing this guy. So he comes out, he does his offer, and I said he was duck hunting. We went over, and I went over all the different ways. And The Fuck Is a Duck, that series that I've been doing, we break down like 7 different types of ducks because there's different kinds. There's promotional ducking, there's straight fear, there's picky terms, all these crazy picky terms that they, you know, it's different. Muscovy Drake, which is the price out. There's 7 different ones. The moving promotion, changing promotional companies, changing weight classes. All these things are classified as ducks, but somehow the fans kind of defend it. So I said, man, he's on a duck hunt. Well, when Fulton made that blunder and he got that, and they gave Oshaki that interim strap, which was supposed to go to JDA Herrera. They hadn't fought, but they had already said they're going to give it to JDA Herrera. And I'll be forgetting that guy he fought, but JDA Herrera wound up stopping him. So when he found out, when Oshaki found out that Shakur was not going to fight him, he said, all right, I'm going to go back down to 30 where I know, you know, where I have my cachet at 30 because I still got my belt. I could fight Navarrete, you know, and, you know, some of the other guys in the division, I can unify, but there's some names or whatever. And people tried to say, oh, he ain't really want to fight. It's like, why would I stay there and make it hard for me to get a fight with people saying, oh, man, you begging when I got leverage at my weight division? That's a no-brainer. So that's what he did. However, Shakur had inserted his foot in his mouth by throwing Ray Ford into the mix. Well, the kind of guy that OshaquieFoster is, he said, listen, I'm going to go ahead and weigh my options. I don't know what happened. I don't know if anything got popping, but I think they got plans for Navarrete because I think Suarez was in the mix. Oshaki has talked about that ad nauseum. And he said, okay, you want me to fight Ray Ford? Okay, well, I'll be your Huckleberry. So then the fight was signed. I said, man, shit about to get real, done deal. And, you know, Ray Ford was one of my he was in my boxes to watch. I called him the Cobra in my boxes to watch. Very fast hand. When he first came out, I got a video in the boxes to watch, because my boxes to watch, up until I stopped doing it because they kept copyrighting me or whatever. And I was like, man, this shit getting old. When I used to actually break down like what they were doing in my boxes to watch collection, check that out, y'all. Ray Ford is actually in there. Ray Ford hit this guy with like a 21 piece. So I used to love how Ray Ford fight. Ray Ford used to let his hands go. I said, man, this little dude, he's quick, he's sharp, he'll go to the body, he got good feet. You know, I don't like this whole thing that they saying that he's like the carbon copy of Shakur. I don't see that. I don't see that. But what I have seen is that I seen the Nick Ball fight, you know, and it was messed up that he had that quick turnaround. But like, if you one of them ones, you're gonna figure out how to get it done. And that loss didn't age well, because Nick Ball wound up getting knocked out by Figueroa, a guy who was in CompuBox. He's like he gets hit the most in the sport of box. I don't know, it might be somebody else now, but I know like a year or two ago he was on CompuBox as the most hit. Like, you can hit him, you know what I'm saying? You can hit him. He's almost like Sabril. He might have kind of Sabril get hit a lot too, but he was there, so that didn't age well. But we got a fight on deck. Everybody's picking sides, and I can't help but see the landscape, especially on YouTube, is that it's a lot of people that don't want to finish Shakur, Bud, that whole active squad. They don't want to, so they're defaulting to just Ray Ford, and they're saying this is a 50-50. And I'm saying, based on what? Like, how is this how? Based on what? Have you seen Ray Ford do that to somebody like Stephen Fulton coming off that victory right there? Like, in the Conceição fight, he won the first fight. Even the commentator said, man, what we witnessed, he said, it's rare when we see this happening. He's like, but I do not agree. That was Kriegel who said, I do not agree with that. He said, he was on live, he getting checks by them. He said, I do not agree with that decision. But coming off of that performance, you know what I'm saying, O'Shaquie kind of got the juice right now. And they're still having him in that lane where they feel like he got to prove himself. And I was trying to get down to the bottom of what this animosity was that Ray Ford really got, other than just wanting a big fight, or his man's putting him up to the task. And I'm leaning toward the latter. I think his man's just put him up to the task, and I think this is going to go all bad. And I think that this is going to be the continuation of what we saw when we saw this. That's my opinion. This is where we are. And I think school has already begun, because in all of these little interactions, there's two interactions. I'm going to show one now. We're going to review this interview now. But in all these interactions, like, O'Shaquie is just schooling Ray Ford. It just sounds silly. It just and I don't want you to take my word for it. We're going to review it. And this is where we are. My thing is right now, I'm like, how is it going to be 50? Because I went to that fight. I went to the fight when Boots fought Stan Giannis. So I saw it live when Ray Ford fought Matisse. And I ain't gonna lie, I fell asleep. I was in the building, I fell asleep. I wound up getting up like right when it was this rinse, wash, repeat. He didn't step on the gas. Then when they interviewed him, he said, I didn't want to do nothing out of character and get caught with something. But it's like, okay, well, we can't classify you as one of them ones, because who knows Matisse? I'm not talking about Sabril Matisse. I'm talking about Matisse. Nobody knows that guy. And O'Shaquie speaks to that point. But this is my reasoning before I get into the interview. I went over this. O'Shaquie is, you know, they say that him and Shakur are leaps and bounds. I don't know how, because O'Shaquie is actually an inch taller and has the longer reach. He has an exceptionally long arms, and he's ambidextrous. And there is no drop off, like how most fighters, when they go from southpaw to orthodox, it's like, oh, okay, well, you're a defensive liability in this stance, or your jab ain't as. No, there is no drop off. Like, he's a true switch where he don't just like, he can do it on command, or if he decide he wants to, he might be like, all right, this round I'm gonna do it. But there is no drop off in the jab. There is no drop off in his power punches. There is no, he's not a liability circling to the left or the right in either stance. And he's tenured. People don't realize that he was over there studying up under the Mayweathers too. And so he got that. And they go back to the losses that he had early in his career. And he explains that. But I'm like, based on his point, his plus minus, which everybody praised Shakur for, I did the comparison between him and Shakur. And you'll be surprised. Because we go, this is why I say this is fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. This has nutritional value. But look at this. Look at what the plus minus differential was between him and Stephen Fulton, especially with Fulton coming off the performance he had when he had the Timbs and the shorts and all that. Look at what it was with Robinson Casasiot. Look at what it was with Abraham Nova. I did a whole show based on these stats and these numbers and all that, and I broke it down as to how Oshaki does damage. People don't look, it's like, no, he might not be, he can stop you. He can, if you get reckless and crazy, he can do it. And he will, if he gets his back up against the wall, he will dig deep down into the pantalones, figure out, hey, I still got my cojones, and stop you. He will. But throughout from start to finish, he starts inflicting damage. He starts breaking your will. He starts making you feel like, man, I can't do nothing against this dude. We sat there and watched it when it came down to him and Stephen Fulton. One of the best B2As that I've seen as of late, more recent. But those are the numbers. This is why I say it's not. Because Ray Ford been stopped. He don't let his hands go like he do no more. He don't really let his hands go no more. It's not the same. Like when he was in my box, when I put him in the box, I said, oh man, yeah, this guy, he going places. Like, but he don't let his hands go. And if he feeling like he gotta go in there and try to stop Oshaki, and he has not, I don't see how he's going to be able to level up, because how are you going to assimilate what Oshaki can do? You can have somebody come in there in southpaw and then me around, hey, jump in there. But it's different because those fighters are not the same. And a lot of time when you're trying to spell somebody, you can't quite get the guy that's going to, duplicate what he does. So that's the basis as to why I'm like, I seen a fan, before I get into this interview, I seen a fan who said, man, where all these OshaquieFoster fans come from? I'm like, you gain fans after a performance like that. He's like, yeah, but all this talk about stopping, it's like, okay, some people think he's gonna stop it. That's their opinion. I was like, man, you probably just a closet Shakurian, and you just, you know what I'm saying, that's how you feel. But I ain't mad at you. That's how you feel, that's how you feel. But they don't even want this man to have fans, is where we at. They don't even want Oshaki to have fans. I'm like, man, where's boxing come? Whereas you put on a performance like that and you're getting shunned because people are saying, hey, man, I want to see more of this guy. Hey, man, I didn't know he was like that. Like, did you see? I didn't think he was going to do that to Fulton. He proved Gillian Wallow wrong. He proved Cam and Mace wrong. And he handled it like a G because he went on them shows going in their territory, like in their backyard, and just doing what he needed to say, and never lost his composure. And just said, listen, I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to continue to show y'all. I think the continuation has already started, even in this buildup, as I get into the interview. But this is why I say, man, this fight is not 50-50. Does Ray Ford have more than a puncher's chance? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. If you get overconfident with him, and Ray Ford got some power, he got some speed, he has an IQ. Is he the second coming of Shakur? No, I think they're two different fighters. He's not the carbon copy of Shakur. He doesn't even have that style. He's not like a fencer or nothing like that. I think that in the middle rounds, like a lot of the guys who were my guys, like Regis, in the middle rounds, they fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? They got to get woken up. Like they'll just get caught doing the same thing. And then a round go by, then another round go by, and another round go by. And they just doing the same thing. They're not making the adjustments. They're not like really closing the distance and really like enacting the punishment. He will sometimes, but Ray Ford stopped letting his hands go. So I think it's more like I would say a 35-65, 70-30, in my opinion. And to the guy who says, man, Oshaki, because I was gonna put this up, but Oshaki know who I am. Before he even got a belt, I was pulling for him. I did a video and he responded. He responded in the comments and said, hey, salute the Bodywork, man. Like, and this was a minute ago. So I was gonna find it and dig it up, but I don't have to. He know it, so I'm not just a Johnny come lately when it comes to this. Like, he wasn't one of the popular guys. He wasn't getting pushed. Nobody's just coming out straight up doing videos just straight up on Oshaki, but it's coming. Because if he do what I believe he's gonna do with Ray Ford, Shakur is gonna be in a bad way. And I want to hear what Tim Bradley and all of the Tonsil jewelry displaying fans, knee pad wearing fans, going to say after that. But let's listen to this interview. Let's break this down. Raymond Ford was weight drained for Nick Ball and Saudi. Salute the mailers out, man. Raymond Ford is my guy. Man, Shaq will dominate Ford with a savage call out right after. Shakur will be front row. He got to step in that ring and make that fight. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. And I think Oshaki is built for it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't read the newspaper clippings. Don't get too hardy and high-minded. And I think he's in his prime. He's healthy. He's not injured. I think that it's my hypothesis. And I could be wrong because this is boxing. I have been wrong before when I felt really adamant about some things and some people shut me up, made me eat crow, all of the above. But I'm with you, Dev. And I like Ray. Ray is one of my guys too, but it's just that I don't like, even like Shakur. I like Shakur. I just don't like I don't like how they are like right now. I don't like, and I'm like, man, at some point in time, man, we can't let this stuff go by. But let's get into it. Let me do this. Let me do this real quick. And I appreciate you. Do some body work on my like button, y'all. Hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Comment. If you catch this on the playback, talk to me, holler at me. I'll talk back. I'm gonna respond. But do some body work on my like button, man. Let's get people to watch this, man, so they have a different, at least an alternative perspective to everything that everybody else is saying. At least something like that. But I'm gonna put this up because copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use purposes such as criticism, which is what we're going to be doing, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair. And a lot of times, that's what we aim to do when it comes down to this boxing stuff, man. We be trying to tip the balance in favor of fair. Because it's just like high school where everybody just want to talk about the same thing. Yeah. Cosign. The minute you agree, get out of here. Give him 18,000 seconds and timeout and all. It's like, nah, man. We just want to have a fair conversation and talk about this and break this down like we do all these other sports. So let me do this. And this is Sean Zattel. It's Sean Zattel right here.
Sean Zattel here with the WBC super featherweight champion OshaquieFoster, fighting in his home state of Texas, defending the title against Raymond Ford, former featherweight champ, May 30th on DAZN. Shock, man, really looking forward to this fight. It's a high-level matchup. It's if you're a purist, it's a delightful matchup, although, you know, probably won't be delightful in the ring. But let's get into it, man. Have you ever had that press conference in Vegas a couple weeks ago was real tense? You had the coaches talking to you, the fighters talking to each other, not just at the press conference, but for like the last 12 months, if not more. Have you ever had as much animosity for an opponent as you've had heading into this fight?
Nah. Heck, nah. Usually these guys are just, I would say Rocky made me mad when I got out there to Mexico and we got into it at the beach and stuff. That's the only like other time where I was like, all right, I'm gonna knock this dude out. Like I told him on stage, like I'm gonna knock you out. And I feel like this at a way higher scale. Like this dude disrespect me, straight poking me, just picking and doing all that. So yeah, like for sure. I do not like dude. I'm going to show him.
So that kind of stuff with Hernandez made you feel like, now I really want to win the fight by knockout that much more. Are you because a lot of people see, high speed chess for 12 rounds, not necessarily a knockout coming out of this fight. Are you thinking knockout in your mind heading into this fight now?
Man, I feel like he done poked the bear. So if I get the chance or anything like that, he get too crazy. Yeah, it can be a night where he can go to sleep.
And I think that's pretty reasonable. I think that's pretty reasonable. He's not saying he's going there looking for whatever. He's just basically saying, hey man, this man get out the line and do, get reckless. Yeah, he can go to sleep, which is logical. It's sensible. Nothing hardy or high-minded about that, in my opinion.
Get hurt real bad, for sure.
I believe from his standpoint, he feels like he's the hunter in this fight. Like he's the 27-year-old young bull who's been calling you out, and you've admittedly been looking at what you feel are bigger fights, like Shakur and everything. What do you got to do to deter that confidence away from him heading into the fight and on fight night?
I mean, like I said, he I don't feel like he that confident as he. I think they trying to make him confident. He trying to tell himself little stuff to make himself confident. But him being 27 don't matter to me. I'm 32. I'm in my prime of my career. And I think people forget this. I'm not an old 32 or a worn out 32. It was a lot of years in my 20s that I did not fight and that I was chilling. So my body is still fresh. And you know what I mean? Like, if you look at my fights with Conceição and the fights before that, which one did I look fresher and more younger in? The Fulton fight. You see what I'm saying? So I done got my body back to being fully healthy and all that. So all that young stuff, man, I ain't too much older than you. We both in the prime.
He gave the man credit. You said they both in their prime, and I'm like, when is 27? It's like the young 27, and like he's not Abdullah Mason age. Not even Xander. Like with Boots. Like it's not even that kind of differential. It's just like, I don't know, man. They be reaching, in my opinion. Like Oshaki said, and he said he was in his prime. He didn't discount his opponent and all that like these other guys be doing so far. Hadn't heard anything outrageous or unreasonable.
I'm just a little bit more in my prime, so I'm gonna show him why though.
What makes you feel like that confidence isn't 100% sincere? Because for me, on the outside looking in, I'm like, young bull seems very confident, and obviously you'll try to turn that, whatever that is, the other way on the.
Stephen Fulton was very, very confident. Remember, even when he went over there to Noya anyway, they were saying he was a hype job. I said, okay, what happened when you get stopped by a hype job? Going into this fight, he was all on Gillian Wallow, highly confident. When is confidence won a fight? It helps. But skills pay the bills, as they say.
Fight, but what makes you think it's not 100% sincere?
I mean, when I talk to him and I look him in his face, when I'm saying certain things, you wouldn't be, if you were so confident, you wouldn't be trying to, like, if you look at their press conference, you seen what they were saying, and the stuff they were saying, it just didn't make no sense. You see what I'm saying? He sounded stupid, him and his coach. Then they trying to throw little stuff out there about my coaches, about my losses that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, they were trying to say, when you gonna pay your coach? All that. First, it was the betting. Well, bet your purse. I'm like, that's getting old. Boots was doing it. I remember when Tank did it and all that. I'm like, I know Floyd did it, but like, that's just like, man, take that out the playbook. Ain't nobody betting their damn purse. Your purse is your purse. You know what I'm saying? And then like your coaches ain't get paid. I like Torrey. I thought that was cheesy as fuck, man. I'm like, man, like it was cheesy, man, to me. He was talking more than Ray at some point in time, and Ray kept looking down and all that body language. So I agree with him. It was silly to me. It was stupid.
Like that tell me y'all trying to build a confidence, because have I ever mentioned ball? Y'all don't see me mention ball. Like, I don't mention ball at all.
You did mention you weren't able to successfully defend your title.
That's it.
Right.
That's it, though. But that's not mentioning ball as his performance. I don't care about his performance with ball. You You see what I'm saying? I want to see you at your best. So I'm gonna go look at your wins. No over, whoopty woo. I don't care about ball. You see what I'm saying? That was just me telling him, like, bro, you won a title, then lost it, bro. But you talking like you just some kind of guy in the sport. Like, you still need to, you feel me, work your way up. But I think that's a confidence build that they trying to do for themselves, man. Like, oh, he got losses. Oh, pay your coaches. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Just saying bullshit. Like, what you talking about? All my coaches gonna be in this, all my same coaches is in my corner. That's who I train with on the daily. Like, I ain't switched teams. So what are y'all talking about? Like, you know, so yeah, confidence builders. That's it.
You know, I brought up the weight thing heading into the Fulton fight, and you probably saw it on Twitter. I brought it up again when this fight was brought up, and he you know, Ray thinks it's this way of discrediting what he may do May 30th and everything, but it's just, you know, you're a big dude at 130, and he just got there in the last 2 years or so he gets to hydrate and be a little comfortable in a new weight class. Why does none of that shit matter?
Oh, yeah, I seen your tweet with that, and I seen what he responded like. Nah, so the thing is, I don't have a problem making weight. These guys, only time I ever had a problem making weight at 30 was for Nova. And that was because the circumstances, right? I won't go all the way into details and stuff, but the circumstances was just kind of bad. They didn't have no saunas in New York. It was kind of cold as shit in New York. February, so it was like that kind of thing. But my last fight with Fulton, bro, that was the easiest I've ever made weight. It was the easiest I've ever made weight. So
pretty reasonable to me. It sound reasonable to me, and he wanted to go to 35. So I mean, it sounds reasonable to me. I think the dude is a vegetarian. I heard he was. That's the kind of question I would ask, but he gonna say something in here that's gonna lead me to believe that he might really be a vegetarian. I don't know, but I never really heard anything about no issues or whatever. That kind of sound logical. It's February, no saunas. You in New York. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I've heard worse.
All that I'm not paying no mind. He just that's kind of like the same thing he just went and did on the internet talking about and you can tell he was trying to troll, but I take that as a double-edged sword, because you're gonna say, oh, I ain't working, I've been eating and messing with hoes all the time and woody I ain't taking them serious. I feel like you saying that to troll, but you know when you lose, that's an excuse that people gonna try to bring up or woody. So, you know.
Yeah, because Fulton and that whole thing afterward, they did the same thing, man. You're going to have to take that L. If it happens, you know what I'm saying? May the best man win. But if it happens, man, that's not going to be, don't use that as no excuse, because you out here, because you're supposed to, like, according to, what's his name? Big man from New York that be saying, let's go, champ. He say, man, don't lose your batch. You supposed to be holding on to your batch, man. We 2 weeks out, man. You know, you eating whatever and you not holding your batch, man. That's not gonna be no good excuse, man. Not gonna be no good excuse.
Man, did you see that?
I didn't. It reminds me of, you know, Floyd and Gervonta when they're in camp doing their 24/7 thing, and they're, you know, Gervonta's eating the candy before Ryan, or Floyd is out at Fat Burger, you know, 2 in the morning before the fight, and it's that show of, I'm so much better than this guy. I got this in the bag kind of thing. You know, I'm not sweating.
I mean, yeah, it could be that, but that don't make no sense, because I eat what I want. Like, my coaches have to beg me to eat. Like, I eat what I want. So that don't even, like, you could say that and do all that, like, but it ain't gonna affect me, because I'm not a starving dude that's in camp. These guys have a fat camp and have to lose weight. Like, when I seen him in Arizona.
Oh, Arizona. Oh, yeah, at the Navarrete fight, was it?
Yeah. He was fat. And I told my mans when we I'm like, bro, this dude fat right now. Shoulders all big, bro. Like, he was fat. He was like Fulton when I first seen him in the LA Prop Conference.
Yo, I say this all the time, man. Ray Ford is bigger than Tank, y'all. I done said this on numerous lives. Ray Ford is bigger than Tank. Like, and that dude, he kind of muscular too. He ain't like cut like Frank, how muscular Frank used to get, or how Yard like that. But like, he bigger than Tank, man. Let that sink in, man. Let that sink in.
You know what I mean? He had the big ass shirt on, so you can't see his gut. Woo-de-woo. You know what I mean? But I don't have no problem making weight. I don't have no problem. You know what I mean? None of that. So,
well, into the fight itself, stylistically, what's your advantages in this fight?
That I've sparred a southpaw my whole life. That's my advantage. I sparred a southpaw since I was 8 years old till I was like 16, 15 years old, and that's all I had to spar.
What southpaw was that? Like,
my homie named Jeremy DeVilla. He was a couple-time world champion. I mean, not world champion, national champion in the amateurs. But you can imagine you having one fight. I had one fight when I met them, when they came to the gym. He had 60. So you can imagine what kind of codes I had to break, how many times I had to lead up crying and woo-de-woo to I had to figure that out. You see what I'm saying?
A transparent guy, man. Don't we all love transparency? He was like, man, look, you know, he being realistic. He wasn't in there talking about he was beating shit down people's leg from day one. He's like, nah, man, I had to break some codes. I had left crying. I like that, man. We don't get that. You know what I'm saying? We don't get that from these guys. These guys go around acting like, yeah, I could beat King Kong, and you know what I'm saying? Like, humble guy, man.
So, and this was me, it was me and him. He was 2 years older than me. I was 8, he was about 10. It's just like we was the only two fighters there at that age. So I'm sparring him to get ready for every orthodox I've ever faced. You see what I'm saying? Like,
now, Shock, you know Ray's response would be, "I'm no Jeremy De Silva," and I understand you said the man was a national champion. But
that's fine, but you're not getting. If he say that, he not getting what I'm saying. And he's stupid. I've sparred a southpaw my whole life. It's not like he get in there with these orthodox guys that only seen a southpaw twice or seen a southpaw 3 times and they don't know what to do with that. I've literally had to spar that my whole life. I've been in the ring with that my whole life. You see what I'm saying? So sparring a southpaw is like ABCs to me. That's what I'm saying. I mean, fighting a southpaw is like ABC to me. You know what I mean?
Good point. He tenured in it. It shows, man. He got command of that, of his skill set, man.
I learned how to box fighting a southpaw.
Now, he showed grit when he came back to knock out Klomatov, right? And Klomatov actually had the advantage on him on the outside, and then he bit down, closed the distance, started ripping in the pocket, mid distance, got closer to him. I think people that are favoring him in this fight, and you are the betting favorite, but it's a 50-50 in a lot of people's eyes too. And then the people feeling Ray's going to win the fight, they look at it like he has an advantage in the pocket, and maybe has a little bit. Maybe the first time you're fighting somebody a little bit faster than you too, with pure hand speed, especially in that pocket range. What do you think of that, Shock? What's your take on that?
Ask yourself, do you think those are those decent advantages? Do Ray Ford have the advantage in the pocket? Do he have the hand speed? I don't know. As far maybe hand speed, I don't know. It's kind of hard to judge. At a bigger weight, he's gonna be at a bigger weight, more comfortable, probably more punch resistance. Probably, definitely, Ray will have more punch resistance. But sometimes that hand speed, I don't know, because T.O. didn't look as crispy, you know, moving up just one weight class from 35 to 40. Hasn't ever looked, so we don't know. I don't know. Maybe in the pocket, I don't know. I don't know, man. I think that comes to boxing IQ, man. We did a whole episode about inside fighting, man. Who's the better inside fighter? I think we had to go back and look at some film and figure that out. We got 2 weeks and then we actually see it. So we can just sit back and relax, but go back. But that's something I'm probably going to go do. I don't know. I don't know to either. I'm not sure.
I mean, my take, I don't know what they're talking about. Because who did the better inside work with me and him and Nova?
Well, you dropped Nova late, right? With
yes, but just through the rounds, who did the better inside work? I'm not talking about how he was catching Nova from the outside. But when Nova dropped down and actually walked to him, who did the better work? Me. So I don't see it. I don't see what they talking about. Like with the ball fight, Eduardo did the same thing Ball did. What happened in the pocket with me and Eduardo? I clipped him with an uppercut, and then it got bad for him. He couldn't do none of that to Ball. You see what I'm saying? So, but I do see what they saying. That's what they banking on. You see what I'm saying? They can't give him nothing else, so that's what they looking at it as. But I don't think they looking at the guy Omatov had a whole knee injury going into that fight. He was asking for wear a knee brace and all kind of stuff.
It shows that Oshaki be in tune, man. He's studying. He know the history. He know the facts. And he's spitting them out. He rattling them out. So everything seemed logical and reasonable. You know, to me, nothing outrageous so far.
So him pressing that kind of guy is not the same as me. Like that guy had a knee injury, so he had to compensate, stepping back and doing all this. So it gave Ray Ford where he was here and catch him every time he would come in. You see what I'm saying? But nah, that's a totally different fight than me. That guy long and bouncy and nah, you know what I mean? So I don't see it, but I get what they looking at and trying to, you know, the narrative they trying to put out about it. Yeah, for sure.
On the outside, you got the length advantage, and Stephen Fulton really couldn't get past that range all night, to the point where you didn't really have to fight in the pocket that often. You were able to just pelt him on the outside, and right-handed, left-handed, didn't matter. Do you have that? Is that a stylistic advantage for you too on the outside in this fight, or do you think it will come down to the pocket, like you've had to do in some of those fights you mentioned?
Nah, because in them fights that I mentioned, I was compensating too. See what I'm saying? I was compensating for injuries. So now that I'm fully healthy, I showed in the Fulton fight, like it don't matter what aspect we had in the ring, I can do what I want. But they don't. What I think a lot of people don't notice with the Fulton fight, Fulton is smart, right? He tried to do what Ford and his fans are saying. He tried to close the distance and get on the inside, but he found out from the first round that I can that I really hit. Like the illusion of Shock just being a boxer puncher is out the window when these guys get in there. Because when I hit them, they know I can knock them out. Like I'm cracking for real. So when
that's true. It's like Fulton made a business decision early in that fight. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, Shock might got some hot shit in the midst. I mean, that's what I saw. He made a business decision.
You seen Fulton get hit. He kept everything at home. He played it safe for the rest of the fight. You see what I'm saying?
Smaller, older fighter than Ford. Just to give...
Barely. He 30, 3 years older, man. We ain't gonna do that. Right. We ain't gonna do that, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, they try to move the goalposts. No, it ain't no goal. He was way more accomplished, way more seasoned. If we talking skill-wise, he would have beat Ball easy. He would have made it easy in his mind and how he beat him, just like he did with Figueroa, which Figueroa came and beat Ball. You see what I'm saying? So we can't say that. He was younger than me, too. He was 30.
He laying that shit down, man. I can't say nothing, man. Nothing but facts.
30, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just, I think these guys look at my fights and they be like, look at the rating when they did the power. They asked him about my power. He said 0, 2, 1, 2 or some shit. That's what I'm talking about. So when he get in there and he feel this, I guarantee you all that, I'm going to walk in there, it's going to be out the window. He going to go back to that same little stuff. Just watch, bro. Just watch.
Before you get out of here, just got to throw the hot quotes heading into this fight your way. He said, quote, "You're dick riding," in reference to Shakur Stevenson recently. What's your response to that?
If I'm dick riding, then what are you doing? Because me, I really want to make the fight happen. And I only went to Shakur because he was playing both sides, trying to come be friends with me, trying to get me to come spar over there. And then you put your mans out. Ray Ford, I would have been, if I was Shakur, I would have been mad at you. Because if Shakur came to you probably and told you if you ever fight me that he want to be there hand and foot, he want to spar you all the time, be there, and you go say that to the interviewer, and that's what made me go after Shakur. See what I'm saying? That's a difference. That ain't got nothing to do with dick ride. But for you to say, hey, where the beef come from, and you talk about sparring.
Well, what did make you decide I'm not gonna do the sparring after all?
That's what I'm saying, man. I didn't understand where all of the animosity, these guys be creating it, and it's like, I don't get where it came from. But he explains it all, and it makes sense. I can't poke no holes in it, man. I mean, somebody let me know, man. I'm not looking at the comments right now because I'm looking at this, but like, let me know. Give me some feedback. I don't know. It sounds right and exact to me.
Because he says you guys redo it.
It wasn't no deciding, bro. It was, I don't know what the hell I was doing at that time. That's why I'm like, bro, you bringing us sparring. That's how I know you, like, you a weak person, and I don't know you. You don't know me. We've never met in person before that. You text me about sparring. I told you in the text I was out of town, that I was doing stuff. You see what I'm saying? I told you I would try to get my coach to set it up for that Saturday. We never said a gym that we was gonna do it at. We didn't say we were gonna go to Prince Gym or Main Street Gym, my gym, or anything. You see what I'm saying? I fought one time in 2022. That was in the beginning of 2022 when I fought Yokobov. I didn't fight again until February, Ray Vargas in February. I don't know what the hell I was doing at that time. I know I wasn't in a gym sparring niggas sparring people every day. Excuse my language, sparring people every day. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's how I know, like, you got a key in your back and you really like talking about sparring. That's why you got animosity. And then it don't make sense. Right after that, what he said I hated on him after he won the fight or something, after he won his title. That's how you know these guys ain't that smart. Like, what are you talking about, bro? You mentioned my name in the ring after you won the title. You see what I'm saying? So why wouldn't I go and be like, hey, he fooled? Hey.
That's what I'm saying. They throw rocks and then hide their hands. Like, you call the man out. What is he supposed to say? Oh, nah, we cool. He don't even know you. You know, he said y'all never met in person. So that's why I was saying this shit came out of the blue, and I think Shakur did put that battery in his back, man. Like he do everybody else, man. Trying to get everybody to go do this. Like Hitchens, he got between Hitchens and Keyshawn. Like, I think this was the master plan of Shakur, putting that battery in Ray Ford back, man. And it's gonna probably end bad, man. I don't know. But if I was a betting man, which sometimes I am, I'm gonna say it's gonna go bad for him, man.
Ain't hating on you, dude. You call my name. You see what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking? You trying to build narratives and pump yourself up to have some beef with me. You just got a key in your back. Just say that. Your daddy wanted you to come look at me, and you fell for it and went for it. That's it. You protecting another man. That's it. Just say that. That's all.
What do you make of? You called them the Avengers. What do you make of? All the excellent work he is getting in the gym with Richardson, Hitchens, and Shakur heading into this fight.
I didn't call it the Avengers. I said it. Look, they act like they act like they the Avengers. They act like they this and that. But I don't look at it nothing. Hitchens scary as hell. I've been knowing that. Like, I've been knowing that for years. Like, that's been the word in boxing. Like, they had to pump him up for certain sparring sessions, woo-de-woo. And he know what I'm talking about. I ain't got to go say who is sparring woo-de-woo. But they had to put a key in his back to go spar and stuff like that. He got a heart problem. He got a heart problem. Not a physical heart problem. He just ain't got no heart. You see what he did with Duarte? Hell,
Shots fired, man. Like, man, I hated to cook Hitchens on that, but man, shit, I had to cook him on that. I was like, man, why would you do that with Duarte? And look at how that aged. Duarte really lost that fight to Fierro. I mean, point blank period. So, wow.
Don't worry about Hitchens, but he's scared like that. And Shakur, he can't mimic my style. He don't do. Only thing he can mimic is probably a step back. He don't got the offensive repertoire that I got. He don't switch southpaw orthodox. They don't know how I'm coming. They don't know how I'm coming, so I don't really care what they doing over there. Like, I don't care what they doing. He can spar them, but he ain't gonna be able to work on what he want to work on, because them guys gonna take it away from him.
Well, lastly, Oshaki, I appreciate the time, man. This is the last one. Why should people pull up to Houston? What can they expect in this fight? Why should they tune in?
Man, it's gonna be amazing. I got something in store for y'all. It's gonna be a domination. We're gonna have the whole squad mad. Of course, he gonna come with what he come with, and I'm gonna take everything away from him and put him back to where he square one. And then it's just gonna be a great night, man. Y'all pull up, y'all tune in. It's gonna be a great night. That's all.
I appreciate the time, man.
Very, to me, very humble. I mean, you know, as you can be. I mean, confident in his abilities, but like I didn't hear anything out. He just said domination. He didn't say, he didn't get all extra. He didn't put too much cayenne pepper on it. You know, he laughed. He tickled. He was saying the same thing. Like these guys, this is why I say classes and sections. These guys don't be too smart. You start something, and then when somebody else come, because a lot of people say, "Hey man, he's a good kid," blah blah. He ain't gonna start nothing, but he'll finish it. Well, Oshakie's here to finish it. He didn't start this. Like he wanted Shakur. He said, "You protecting another man." I didn't hear anything egregious, outrageous, nothing. When we can get into the 9-minute we can get into the 9-minute clip. We can get into the 9-minute clip with them going face to face, but let me see. They're gonna make Shock fight Roach at 135 instead of Shakur. Maybe it's a sweepstakes. Shock has to show he's level above. Shakur will have wiggle room. Fierro has a draw versus everybody. Shakur using Ford to analyze Shock. That's what I was saying. He's like, your daddy said, your daddy told you come, so you can see. And Shakur does that, man. That's why they wanted to spar. He loved trying to go spar or trying to get some kind of insight or whatever before he fights you, man. Because he wanted to go fight. He wanted to go spar Sabril. He didn't want to fight him, but he wanted to go spar him. And that's what I was saying, Dev. Shakur using Ford to analyze Shock in the ring. Otherwise, why would you put your homeboy? Right. Exactly. He want to go get a look. Okay, if he can do that. Because if you think about it, he don't get fully confident until he sees somebody else do. Like he saw what well, it was plenty of things. Like with T.O., he been sizing him up. He said he was bigger than him 2 years. They had already been talking about it, but like he already know that he was down there with the Russells. He don't want to fight the Russells. He don't want to fight Gary Antoine. He was in the same division as Mr. Gary Russell and never had, and Mr. Gary Russell, he don't bite his tongue for nobody. He was like, listen, shawty, anybody can get it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's famous for, he's infamous for doing that, man. He wanted to get a look. And it's sad that nobody see. That's why I was saying, Hitchens, you didn't know that you wasn't really part of you might be part of the extended friends and family plan, but if it was like when it was like a phone plan, they had minutes, nah, you can't use your phone till nights and weekends, Hitchens. Yeah, you on there, but you don't touch that goddamn phone until after 7 o'clock if you was with Verizon or on the weekends. I'm sorry. You're not in there like Keyshawn and them. So I don't know why Hitchens didn't see it coming. But like this is some things, just analyzing the game and looking at how these fighters move. This is something that I've already seen. This is Shakur's doing, y'all. That's what this really come down to. But before we get into that 9-minute clip, what you got, AC? What you thinking about this?
Basically, my computer had fell and the screen got all fucked up, and now I got to go get a whole new laptop. But basically, yeah, it's all good. It was going anyway. Like I lost screws on the bottom because the battery and shit like that. It's still one of the older models, the metal shits. But basically, the way I look at it is, what Ray Ford did and what Shakur's doing to him is like, I would question whether or not you're my friend, because I feel like you lining me up for somebody, and you supposed to be my homeboy. You know what I'm saying? So whether or not you putting a battery in my back for a beef that I genuinely had, that's a different story. You putting this battery in my back for a beef that you started, that's between you and him. And because I look out, because you the homie, and people be like, you know, that's my homeboy, whatever. Yo, that's my word. Somebody try to violate, yada yada yada. I'm gonna go ham on them or whatever. Ray Ford might have said something like that, and Shakur immediately was like, "Oh, for real?" You know, like when you see the Grinch That Stole Christmas, when he put that mad devious smile and his ears curled up, his hair curled up, his eyebrows curled up, you know, the sides of his mouth curled up. It was like the most ominous grin you could think to give and stuff like that. And that's the way I see that whole situation with Shakur, in the fact that he found a way out, and that way out to that inevitable, you know, media demanding that fight. He put Ray Ford out there to take the attention away. If they call you Shakur Twitter fingers or whatever, that means you do know something about how social media work. You do know how to get it to move the needle, whether it's towards you or whether it's towards your op. And what I can say about Shakur and his media savviness is that he knows how to maneuver whatever criticisms are being said about him. He knows how to maneuver it through strategic tweets to where now those criticisms are that of the ops. You know, well, who the ops really fight, what the ops really did. He don't really deserve to fight, and, you know, experience and all of this other stuff. And he could just simply put it out there in simple words. Well, what has he done? And if he put it out there like that, people will look at Oshaquie's record and be like, yeah, so what really has Oshak? I'm telling you, that's why he better for Ray Ford, because they speak. Ray Ford is more of Oshaquie speak. Oshak ain't do what Shakur did. So it makes sense for him and Ray Ford to fight. You see, and it's just little things like that he's controlling things and using the people around him as tools, as chess pieces. And these people don't even understand that, you know, to Shakur, you're just a piece of a moving board. The people that matter to Shakur are not you guys. It's not you, Keyshawn. It's not you, Ray Ford. It's not you, Hitchens. It's none of y'all. The people that matter to him are two people. Two and two alone. Clarissa Shields and Terrence Crawford. Andre Ward don't even have that pull, but Andre Ward is looked at as the vet. I fucks with you because you fucks with Bud.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? That's how Shakur sees that. So the only two people that matter to him, Clarissa Shields, who's big sis, and Bud Crawford, who big bro. You know what I'm saying? So when you size it up like that, then you really know what you're dealing with. And here's a little analogy, but it's a side story, right? We knew this dude named that we called Hollywood, right? This dude is basically, he was dating the daughter of Sony Records and stuff like that, the Asian girl and stuff like that. She pulled up to the building in her car and all of this other stuff. He's got pictures with him and Mariah. You know what I'm saying? He's got pictures, with him and crazy female celebrities and male celebrities. And with some of these female celebrities, he grabbing cheeks and got his hands on boobs and all kind of stuff. So, and the dude always worked out, got plenty of crazy jewelry back then, but that's why we called him Hollywood, because he was always in the stuff, right? So somebody I know in the music industry and someone he knows, mutual person that we know in the music industry, is throwing a party at a club. We both see each other in the club and it's like, oh, yo, what's up? And he looking at me like, yo, I didn't know you knew people like this in the music industry. I'm like, yeah, I'm just low key, man. My thing is food. I do restaurants and stuff like that. So I seen some other friends of ours that he got into the joint. So we all go to the bathroom. We standing in the bathroom, and this dude pulls out like a little thingy, like a little plastic container that you would put quarters or coins in or something like that. Got the little lid on it or whatever. And he's got a phone number written on it with his name. So he's handing it out to the other dudes that I know, and I'm like, wait a minute, these are thorough street dudes that I know. Like, really get it popping like that. And I'm looking at them, take this dude number, and he telling them, like, yo, you see a chick that's really, really popping like that, give her my number. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, is this for a movie? You scouting something? So I walk up to him and I'm like, yo, what's that about? And he like, nah, it's just I'm just looking for a chick. I'm like, what? And I'm like, you gave Slow and what's the name your number so they can give it to a girl so the girl could call you? And he was like, yeah, you want some? I was like, not in your life, nigga, you crazy? Like, bro, no, So it's just when you in those situations and you in there with those type of celebrities and those celebrities got real street cred and you looking at it right there, some dudes will fold to that. Be like, yo, yeah, yo, nah, you know what I'm saying? I just looked at him like, nah, that is the most goofiest shit that I've ever seen. And me being a grown man and knowing that I pee standing up and I got two testicles that work, like I baby, there's no effing way that I would ever do some shit like that for any dude, let alone my brother, not even my son. Like, nigga, you want those buns, go get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For real. So I was like, wow. And I just looked at everybody that was involved in that situation. I just had a completely different look. I'm only saying that to mention this. What could Shakur do to another fighter? A guy that has supposed to have the same mentality as you. Even though we both fighters, if it comes down to it, you still a homie, but I'm gonna fuck you up if we get in the ring. That's just the nature. That's just the competitive nature of a fighter. Right. So what could make you bend to the other guy's will? To do his bidding? I don't know. Only one word comes to my mind: fear. Fear or heart problems. You need to go see a cardiologist if you got heart problems like that, bruh. Because you can't call yourself that dude or a fighter like that if you willing to do another fighter's bidding.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
You gotta go see the Wizard of Oz, man.
Yeah, definitely.
But let me this one, it's 8 minutes. It's now eight and some change. I'm just gonna do this and we're gonna wrap up, man, so we could do a thorough breakdown of this so far. We'll be 2 weeks out. So I'm just gonna put this up. But yeah, I feel you, man. Great analogy. Let me see. It's not mine. Once again, I'm gonna put this up here. Let everybody know. It's not mine. This is just for criticism and commenting and news reporting. So you can't say Bodywork was painting narratives and all this. It's like, no, we're gonna walk through it real quick and be thorough about it. But it's not mine. So it's just fair use cited.
Loser go from here.
Okay, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. What you think you do better than me?
Everything.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
That's crazy.
What you think you do better than me? I'm curious. What in the world you think you do better?
You hit harder than me?
For sure. That's
100%.
For sure. I don't even think about that part.
That's not what I heard.
I really don't care what you heard.
Yeah, why you gonna go over what somebody heard? That's not what I heard. So you gonna go in there for number? Oh, he don't hit that hard. I don't know, Ray.
You faster than me? You faster
who
than
have
me?
you hurt to the point to where you feel like you got one punch knocked out? I done seen myself hurt and knocked out.
Bombs? I seen you knock out a
Well,
bomb.
you ain't knocked out the bombs then. You always gonna bring up
I was boxing early in my
Don't
career.
shrug your shoulders now. You
I was boxing early in my career.
You was what?
I was boxing early in my career.
What that mean?
I was just cruising. I wasn't really trying to knock shit out.
I feel you.
Cards on the table. And just because they got their little thing playing, man. I don't know. I hope this ain't no hopefully it's from the same batch that I'll be using, but we'll see. We'll see if it is. Just because they got something. I'm gonna take that off.
Out of everyone you face, where do you believe I rank in terms of skill and ability?
At the bottom.
Alright.
Who has a better resume? Why y'all put these?
But that don't make no sense. If he ranked at the bottom, then why are you trying to fight him? School is in session, y'all. School is in session.
These dumb ass.
I mean, of course, I got the best resume. You know what I mean? For sure. What are you willing to do to take my belt?
Stomp on you. Stomp you into the pavement. Who is the better fighter?
They know the answer to that. Where does the loser go from here?
You gotta
said
answer
TCL,
that.
huh?
Yeah, that's where you going. Yeah, they need your help over there.
Be there.
It's like night and day, bro. I'm just a better fighter. I'm younger, flashier. People want to see me, they tune into me, bro. I talk my shit. Tell me how you beat me and how you think the fight will end.
And nothing, I'm younger, I'm flashier, and people tune in. Like, what that got to do with beating Oshaki? That's why I say, man, playing around, man, smoking at a gas station, man. You just up there smoking at a gas station, just tossing your lit cigarettes just all over the place as you pump the fuel, bro.
Anyway, I feel like it.
You think you're gonna knock me up?
If you get too reckless and you think shit,
You know
you
I'm
get
gonna
too
get
comfortable, I'm gonna punish. I'm gonna knock you out, yeah, for sure.
You think so?
Yeah, either 12-round decision, like a punishment, the same shit last point went to.
Okay.
Or if you get reckless, I'm gonna knock you out. Either one.
I'm gonna get reckless.
I'm gonna knock you out. That's your answer.
I'm gonna get reckless. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Sleep?
Sleep.
You think I'm going to sleep?
If you get reckless, you're gonna go to sleep, bro. Don't get too reckless then. Which that's not you. You feel me? You talking like you're gonna get reckless, but
You seen me get reckless before, right? That's why you putting in your head. That's why you think I'm gonna get reckless.
I've never seen you get reckless.
You said when we faced out the first time, you said step to me how you be stepping to them.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, the hell I didn't. I said you don't do what you saying. I said you not tough like that. I said all that other stuff you saying I don't see it.
You said I fight
The
scary.
only person I saw you step to at the end and you had to because you was losing the fight was the Omatov, whoever the guy that you had a hero win against.
Who you step to?
Anybody I had to. I just stepped before him.
You can't.
I walked the second
You stepped
Casasio
before?
fight. The second Casasio fight, I walked him down. man.
You stepped before. You said the second Consistency fight.
I
He
walked
was
him
out
down.
punching you.
Go look at
He was
bro,
outworking
go
you.
look. You
I
can't
thought you lost the
bro, I
second
thought
fight.
you guys are smart. You gotta be smart, bro. Go look at the go look at the stats of the fight and see who threw more and landed
that
more.
shit don't.
Me.
That shit. That shit
I
is
threw
cat.
more and
I
landed
don't even
more.
look at the copy.
Bro.
I don't look at that.
All right, so
They don't look at it, but we do. We hold on, y'all. I gotta show this, man. Like, because I'll be saying it wasn't just. That's why you gotta be thorough in your approach. Fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. I put it up here, man. I had already had this done. Like, I did a whole show where this was on there, man. A plus 40. Differentials don't be like that. A plus 20 to plus 40, man. A plus 33 on Casacia. A plus 135 on somebody as accomplished as Stephen Fortune, man. That's why I say, man, you got to be studying your opponent. You see, Oshaki was studying. He know everything. He know the fights. He know what happened. He ain't playing that, man. Like, these guys, man, I told you, man, smoking at a gas station.
now we getting into.
But I'm saying you stepped the Consistency out in the second fight.
Yes.
Okay. I just thought
did
you
not.
put on a masterclass performance. I thought it was just
By
a
the end of the
boxing.
fight, he wasn't running, sliding on the
I
ropes,
mean, he's
trying
already.
to get up out of there.
He knew he lost already. He just trying to survive now.
So who you step to?
Matisse. I stepped in Nova more than you. I ain't stepped in Nova more than you.
Is you serious, bro?
You
I put Nova in the trenches. You, hey,
what that little weak ass knockdown?
Matisse?
He wasn't even hurt from that shit. For real. I wasn't stepping to Matisse.
I mean, they was booing y'all like crazy. That man ain't even throw no
They
punch.
was booing him.
They was booing. I was in the building, bro. How can you in the fight and they booing him? But you ain't doing nothing to turn the fight around. School is in session.
He couldn't.
So
Yeah, I put his hands in his pocket. Yeah, I was getting it popping.
He was
what?
Popping.
He said
he was hurt. I ain't never get hurt. I was chilling in the wolf fight.
You never get hurt? Oh, you talking about Nova?
Nah, he did hurt Ball a couple times. That's why I said, man, you left something on the table for it. I give you that for it. You should have stepped on the gas on Nick. That's why I say, man, I don't know what happened with Ford. I don't know what happened with Shakur. Why these guys don't be stepping like that no more? They used to.
I'm talking about with Ball. Ball was hurt. I wasn't hurt.
You never hurt?
Never in that fight?
Yeah.
You see me hurt? No.
I seen a whole bunch of.
Name one fight.
Omatar. You got hurt in that fight for sure.
I got hit with a good shot. Couple times. I got hit. No, I wasn't. I never was. You see my legs wobble.
On my mama, I did. Why you talking like I seen you?
What?
Yes, I did, brother. On gang, I did.
When? You see me do a little dance, anything? When?
You gotta say you did nothing crazy, like damn. But he caught you.
He caught me with a good shot.
You wobbled to the corner, and he slid up on you. You
wobbled to the corner. I didn't wobble.
It's a tough fight. Like everybody get wobbled.
I didn't wobble. I seen you get wobbled though. I seen you dance.
People I get wobbled.
I ain't never danced.
I got reckless though. You got wobbled just on some regular boxing shit.
I was drained. I feel good now. We good.
Drained.
Let's see if you can do it.
Why you gotta make excuses?
Let's see if you can do it. You made excuses hella times. With the Nova fight, you said your arm was hurt. You finally healthy, but you made excuses.
I can't make excuses.
But you made excuses.
That's why I say you can't make. How you make excuses and you won?
How I know you made an excuse?
You watched me and Over?
Yeah.
So you
I thought he was touching you up.
To my
that happened in the fourth or fifth round. That happened in the fifth round or some shit like that. What happened before that? You was getting touched up. He was winning the early rounds. Before the injury.
Look, don't make excuses for your losses and all that stuff.
Bro, I'm not tripping off I lost to at least. Listen, somebody that I lost to.
I'm fully
healthy. I lost. Somebody I lost to was undefeated.
I'm fully healthy now. So look.
Somebody I lost to was undefeated. Went on to defend his title. Who the fuck did you lose to?
I don't know who them Joe.
We don't know exactly.
But, I'm him now. So let me make an example. You always.
I'm him now. I don't know who those Joe Blows was. I'm him now.
Bring up Sam Tate. Who Sam Tate lost to? Levias Williams.
I don't know.
When I tried to get that rematch with Sam Tate, hold on. When I tried to get that rematch with Sam Tate, he didn't want to do it. You know what I did? He was 9-1 when I fought him. Sam Tate 8-1. I went and got the guy.
I was still a kid.
Hold on.
I was still a kid.
I understand. But instead of fighting him, when I tried to get that rematch with him, I went and fought the guy that beat him, and I stopped him in the 6th round. Levias Williams. You can look it up.
Okay.
Rolando,
I don't know him either.
Like I don't know why.
I don't
y'all
know him
guys,
either.
look, y'all chill with the trying to build narratives off of.
Y'all say the same shit. You said, cause I lost to Nick Boyle. That mean
your shit was 2 years ago. Your shit was 3 fights ago.
Your loss was, you had a recent loss, more recent than my loss.
That's fine though, bro. Like y'all can't bring up that loss though, man. Like the first.
But I thought you lost the second fight.
Crazy.
I thought you lost the second fight.
It doesn't matter what you think.
I mean, so
come on, man. Like,
y'all 1-1 on robberies. Y'all 1-1 on robberies.
Why you didn't fight Conceição? Why you fought?
They never bought him.
Why you fought?
They never brought him to my table.
I don't know, bro.
They never brought him to my table. Whoever they brought to my table.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm done with it, brother. Everybody that I fought, no matter if I'm going to 35 or wherever, everybody I fought since 2020, since I cracked the top 10, I fought nobody outside of top 5s, top 3. Everybody's been top 3.
But I fought.
Look. When you talk about,
man, he know his shit, and that's facts. Top 5, top 3. These guys, these be the silent heroes, man. Like when that shit matters, man. And not just with who you putting the knee pads on for, man. That matters, man. Everybody can't say that. Top 5, top 3.
Resume, you talk about wins and losses. I fought somebody a year after you. It's not even close to mine.
What was Nova rank when you fought?
Like, how long did you give Nova to train?
Nova been training.
No.
And
how long did y'all call him? Did y'all call him
like 5
weeks?
Yeah, like 5 weeks.
Cap. Y'all.
He had 5 weeks.
They called us
5 weeks. What's that standard camp? 8, 10, 12? 5 weeks.
3 weeks. So y'all telling me y'all called him 5 weeks ago when y'all called me 3 weeks ago? That mean y'all had to call him 2 weeks. That mean
we had 5 weeks.
Come on, man. You sounding crazy right now.
I'm telling you, we had.
Well, why y'all called me 3 weeks? If he had 5 weeks,
I don't know when they called you. I don't know when they called you.
So what kind of narrative if y'all?
He don't know when they called. Like, what do you know? School is in session.
I build it.
I don't know when they called you. I mean, you might be lying. You lie a lot. So you might be lying. You did. I mean, I feel like you did. But if you feel like
it ain't making sense now.
I mean, you still
making sense now, little bro.
I mean, you here now though, so that's all that matters.
Yeah. I'm about to say, because you said all the other stuff that don't make no sense. Stop bringing up Nova, bro. Y'all gave him 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks.
You went from 3 to 2.
Stop bringing that man up, man.
How he get 2 weeks?
And hey, y'all know boxing ain't no.
You want me to go to the flyer? You want me to go to the flyer when they put the flyer out?
Ain't no triangle theory in boxing. I know. So it don't matter how you did against him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I ain't so stop.
But I know you can't fuck with me.
May 30th, I'm gonna show you.
We gonna see.
All that.
We gonna see.
It's for the birds, my boy.
We gonna see.
TCL.
Get ready to join the team, man. Get ready to join your team.
Damn. He said he gonna send that man back to TCL. It's just a lot of little, it's all over the place, man. Body language, the narratives. That's what I be getting tired of. I'm like, why people gotta paint greasy narratives and stuff like that? You got to fight. Respect your opponent. Don't discard him. The man said he ranked at the bottom, but he want to fight him. Like, these things don't be making no sense, man. But I wanted to go over that, man, so y'all can actually see it and bring it to the forefront if you have not partaken in those interviews. I don't take the shine from nothing, but I like how cool Ice Water is. He's Ice Water, man. Got ice in his veins. I think it was a little nervous energy with Ray Ford. If that was an inkling of the chess match, if it's going to be a 12-round chess match, I mean, I'm thinking dialogue-wise, preparedness, studying and knowing your opponent and being up on whatever. I've seen a lot of dismissiveness from Ray Ford. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I was a kid then. I wasn't even boxing. I wasn't even trying to step on stuff early. You wouldn't have got into my boxes to watch if you wasn't putting forth an effort. So can't really make an excuse for not stepping on nobody. And I was just boxing. Like, okay. And I was at the Matisse fight. So in a way, and even though I went there for a Boots fight, you was on the undercard. So I supported you as well by being there. Took my lady there. So, and I fell asleep. I mean, I'm just being honest. It's hard for a hardcore to be at a fight and fall asleep on a fight because he wasn't doing nothing. He said he was stepping to Matisse. No, in the beginning, yeah, but like you made a decision. And in the interview, go back. Don't take my word. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Bodywork word for it. Go back and look at the post-fight interview and see what he said. He said, I ain't want to get caught with nothing and do all this. So you made a decision not to, you know what I'm saying? You put your hand, you kind of made a business decision because you didn't want to get caught by Matisse. And who knows Matisse? These are facts, man. So all this 50-50 stuff and all that, that's like part of the being part of the go along, get along game. What you think, AC? So we can wrap up. What was your takeaway from?
Yeah, I was just trying to unmute. Basically, when I saw that interview, that was the interview that me and you was tweeting about, and it was just like my impressions were okay. The biggest thing to look at here is the fact that Ray Ford does not have the life experience that Oshaki had. And when you talk about life experience, that more than likely is one of the key elements to make people do what they do, give them that drive, give them that passion to stay with it. No matter how many people tell you no, no matter how many people tell you, you just not there. You stay with it, you work hard. You know what I'm saying? And that type of experience, it doesn't, in that interview, you would think Raymond Ford would have picked up on it. But he was too busy snickering and giggling and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's nervous energy. But, you know, sometimes you get that with some of these young dudes when you really trying to tell them something serious and they snickering and it's like, yeah, you're going to be snickering in a minute until you really find out. And, you know, you just don't believe at that point fire is hot. You know what I'm saying? Ice water is cold and shit stinks. So life experience, this is where you are. This is your life experience lesson. Now, if you, Lady Luck or Lady Karma Luck is on your side for whatever reason that brings you to victory, then hey, good solid victory. But where I'm always going to choose against you in this situation, and even if you did lose, I mean, even if, what's the name, Oshak did lose, I would still double down on the rematch. And if I had to make the choice again, knowing that Oshaki would lose, I would probably still make the same thing because at the end of the day, life be lifing. And when you got life experience over someone, you do have a huge advantage. Because that life experience dictates, I done seen this before. I done probably seen 100 of you before. So you're not bringing nothing to the table that has me feeling in a way that I need to be nervous, with the exception of uncertainty. That's the only thing that's just a natural nervousness that you have when you're getting ready to go and fight someone. You know what I'm saying? It's just the lucky punch. So now I'm gonna be cautious as I'm beating your ass. But it doesn't deter the fact that I know I'm gonna beat your ass. It just determines how reckless am I gonna get in doing it. And that's where they was talking about getting reckless. Oshaki's life experience can put him in the position to where he can get reckless. Because he was already maneuvering you in a manner that you're just not ready for that. You had no real comeback for that. You know, it was just like watching somebody's real big brother try to put Lil Bro on before y'all played Madden, and they decided to put both of y'all on the thing because Lil Bro feel like he won a little season or whatever, you know, or he beat somebody that you know he's like ready for you now, and you the dude that's got the real EA Sport, you know, joint for it.
Yeah.
So it's like little bro, I'm just trying to tell you, man, be easy. You're not ready for this. Just be easy. Take your time. Focus on what you think, what you really need. Because when he told them that, and that's the part that kind of pissed me off about Ray, when he was like, where do you stand them from 1 to 10? He was like, at the bottom. I was like, then why were you chasing a dude that you feel been in the bottom? Like, what fucking sense does that make? Why would you do that?
It's not gonna age well. It's gonna be like Fulton talking about Anyway was a hype job and all that stuff he was saying about Oshaki. And you can draw from seeing somebody lost. That means that you know they're human, you know they can take an L, but that was so long ago. And a fun fact, a teaching moment for people who listening. But now Hawkins lost his first 3 fights, I think.
Yeah.
What was he able to go on and do? So all that stuff, and then the weight that they put on protecting the O, is like, man, if you in there fighting people more experienced, more tenured, and you see what track record Oshaki has by the numbers, fighting top 5, top 3 all the time since a certain period of time, you're gonna run into somebody that have your number, or you have a bad night or whatever it is. It's not the end of the world, but they put so much on somebody's losses, and that was earlier on. That's why Oshaki, he had got a little dismissive of that part when he said, man, listen, man, you're going over stuff that was 10 years ago, and your loss was 2 years ago. And then Ford say, well, you lost more recent, but he didn't lose that fight. That was a judging thing, because Wally Moses said, hey, man, you better stop this guy. You seen what they did to Oshaki, meaning that he won that fight, but they didn't give him the decision. So, that wasn't even real. So I'm like, you're grasping for straws, and it was kind of telling, but this is the beginning of the chess game, and we 2 weeks out, man. So how you want to land, AC? How you want to land the plane?
Yeah. Basically, I'm gonna land it right here. This is one of those fights to whereas, like I said, this is gonna be a lesson and a life lesson. At least that's the impression that I'm getting off of this fight. I see Ray trying to have his moments and stuff like that, and things like that. But overall, I just see more of a masterclass type of thing. Ray Ford, this was a moment that maybe you'll wake up after the 17th or whatever. I think that's whatever day the fight is, you'll wake up the next day and feel as though, okay, from here on in, I need to just do me. Fuck this crew shit. Fuck all of this and stuff like that, because hopefully when you're in the dressing room after the fight, you're thinking about all of this stuff that you were saying and all of the stuff you let them people put in your back that had you at thinking that you can actually compete with this guy. You can't compete with him because you're a former champion. I'm not taking that away from you, but what I'm saying is this: there's levels. There's levels of life experience and there's levels of boxing experience. And in this situation, you lack on both ends. So I wish you the best of luck. I hope this is the type of thing to whereas you look at it as a lesson and, go out there and fight your best. Maybe you'll gain his respect by saying, yeah, I beat his ass, but I could see in his eyes and in his mannerisms, he never gave up. So that's what'll be the biggest takeaway for me. Whereas I can be like, yeah, I respect, I gained my respect back for Ray Ford after this one. Like where you are right now, it's like, nah, I respect you, but I'm not rocking with you on this one. And that's where I landed.
Where there's gonna be some life lessons, and we'll see. You know, I'm not saying that Ray ain't got no shot and all that. I don't want it to get misconstrued. Like I said, it's like a 65, 35, 70, 30 to me. But you know, Ray Ford can turn up. You know, it depends. Like maybe he didn't have the opponent. Maybe, you know, I'm trying to be optimistic for Ray. But I rock with Oshaki, man, all the way around. Inside the ring, outside the ring, how he carry himself, how astute he is, how, you know, how much humility he shows. You know, just how he conduct himself, man. He's just a professional, man. And yeah, I'm pulling for him, you know, also, not just skill, but also just like that Brian Norman thing, man. We need people of this kind of character cut from this cloth to thrive in the sport so that people behind him can say, hey, that's how he did. Oh, I'm gonna take a page out of his book. I'm gonna conduct myself like that. I'm gonna fight the top 5, top 3 like that. I'm gonna send as a B-side, you know, I'm gonna send an offer like that. Oh, I'm gonna acquiesce. Okay, I want this fight. I'm gonna do what the guy I want to fight. I'm gonna do what he asked. I'm gonna fight his little mans. And then, you know, hopefully, you know, we need that. So I'm a big fan of Oshaki, and it's not here recently. I've been a fan. So, you know, this is a highlight in boxing where I always talk about the 80-20 rule. And, you know, 80% of boxing is good. We just harp on the 20%. And Oshaki, along with Brian Norman, David Benavidez, Abdullah Mason, Derek Scooter Davis, these guys give me hope. You know, so we're gonna get a good fight. The fans gonna win either way. Regardless who get their hand raised, the fans are gonna win by seeing this fight. So may the best man win. I got Shock, and we'll see. We like 2 weeks out. So we 2 weeks out. It's happening on May 30th. So fingers crossed to the boxing gods that we get this across the line. And we'll probably have another, within 2 weeks, we'll probably have an episode or two, you know, about this, and try to keep it and push it towards the forefront, because I think the way media is this fight is getting swept up under the coverage of all the drama and all this other stuff. Usyk getting ready to fight at kickboxing and all this stuff. So it's just like, you know, we're going to keep this at the forefront and we're going to keep talking about it. But I appreciate you, AC, as always, man. I hope you enjoy your evening, man.
Yeah, definitely, bro. This was a great show, man. Yeah, I found the fix to my laptop screen breaking, because it's the same computer I used for my Photoshop. So basically, okay, I have a screen that I draw on and things like that. But because of the new Apple updates, the screen works, but I couldn't use it for Photoshop no more because it wasn't connecting with the program like that. So I could have just used it as a regular screen. So I wanted to clear up some of the clutter on my desk. So I kept the screen. Thank God I never threw it away, and I just hooked it back up. So now I got a full clean screen again, instead of this nasty looking screen that looks like a, you know, like somebody who dropped a cell phone and it just, the screen cracked, and you get all of those lines and stuff like that with the crazy stuff. So yeah,
word. I'm glad you got a workaround. That's what's up.
Yeah, on to the next one, man. And make sure everybody watching on the playback hit that subscribe and like button, leave a little comment up in there and stuff like that, because it goes far. And on to the next one, buddy. Salute to the chat.
Thank you, man. All right, appreciate you.
All right, for sure.
We got another good one in the books. You know what I'm saying? We had another, in my opinion, it was another classic episode. Another classic episode. We got another one in the books. I'm excited about this fight, y'all, and let's be more objective in the conversation. You know, I thought we put a stake in the ground and just go over some things. You know, hopefully the press conference and all that don't get all greasy and ghetto and all that, and you know, it'll be a little bit more professional. I know he's got supreme confidence because he's relying on his skills. You know, I'm pulling for him because ultimately, if O'Shaquie handle business, we get to see him versus Shakur. If Ray Ford handle business, I mean, we're never going to see him and Shakur. I don't know what he's going to do. You know, go rematch Ball after the knockout. I don't know. But, you know, I keep my eyes on my objective. You know what I'm saying? They say you only see obstacles when you take your eyes off your objective. And my objective is to have a healthy sport so we can get big fights, meaningful fights, interesting fights where fighters are not fencing. But, you know, we sprinkle in some stats. We have some dialogue. We have some housekeeping. We have, you know, a couple different aspects to the show that keep us going. We're not cookie cutter. We give credit where it's due. We cite sources. Yes, we have our criticism. Yes, we have our opinions. Are we always right? No. Do we have to eat crow sometimes? Hell yeah, we do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ashamed to eat crow. And if I eat crow, then I'm like, man, I didn't expect that. But there are going to be some upsets this year. Will this be one of them? I wouldn't bet on it, but as they say, anything is possible, I guess. I'm pulling for Shock, man. So put some positive energy that this fight get across the line. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Hype the videos. You know, if you can't donate to the channel, we are monetized. You know, if you can't, the next best thing is to hype the video. You know, talk to me, I'll talk back, man. I engage with everybody who connects with me. My Gmail, you know, if you want to send me a link, my Gmail is bodyworkboxing247 at Gmail. So hit me up. You want to collab? You want me to come over? You want to kick it? You got an idea? You know, you want to just communicate with me? You know how to reach me through the Gmail. I put it out there. We always got links if you ever want to debate. You know, if you got an issue, hit me up. You know, let me know. But salute to the 300, man. Thanks for everybody who came through and showed us some love today. And I hope y'all have a wonderful boxing weekend. We got some fights coming up this weekend. We get to see Brian Norman. We get to see Keyshawn. I know, I think Kelvin is fighting Pete Dobson. You know, I got my eyes on that. That's going to be wild, man. That's going to be wild because Pete Dobb can take a licking and keep on ticking. And I don't know if Kelvin, even though I think he has all the potential in the world, man, that frame that he has, and, you know, he just got a lot of potential, man. A lot of people try to say that he's trash in this. I don't see him like that. I just think that he didn't get as much development, but I always look forward to him fighting too. And Keon, he's a beast. I love to see what he got going on. Hopefully, you know, they can get it together. The brothers can get it together, and hopefully Clout Sean stops doing all that clouting and actually get some opponents that make sense, you know, and that we want to see going ahead. But he got a banana peel in Nair Albright. Nair Albright gained me as a fan after that performance against the Ghost. And so I salute him for his composure, you know, and that's the American dream, the life that he's living and what he's able to do. You know, making lemonade out of the lemons he was given. The social media and, you know, boxing media, YouTube, it's like a popularity contest, man. But we're gonna continue to do our part, man. You know, support the channel, man. And I appreciate everybody who came out. I always say silence is consent, meaning that all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we always speak to the things that need to be spoken to in the sport of boxing. We do have our opinions, but we try not to be egregious, and we start inside the ring and work our way out. You know, but hopefully we'll all live to have another boxing conversation But thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.